Electro gum. Straight from the OSS.
Okay. It says long lasting, but I don't trust rappers. That is a quote from the great film. You may have heard of it. It's called Spy Kids. It's called Spy Kids. Spy Kids. As Floop might say, as Alan Cumming might say. And that's what we're going to be talking about on today's episode of The Stagler.
Yes.
I'm Justin.
I'm Nick.
And it is episode 21.
2-1.
And don't be fooled. We're not just talking about Spy Kids 1. We're talking about all three of the Spy Kids movies.
You think you're missing one?
Am I?
I think you are.
I don't think anybody would miss.
I think you're not doing it justice.
I don't think anybody would miss that movie if it disappeared off the surface of the earth.
I would not.
Exactly. So we'll get to that in a bit. But first, we've got,
It's time to talk about what we did this week.
Yeah, you're really feeling it this week.
What we did this week.
So you got the energy. Let's hear it.
This week. I did a lot of things this week.
Oh, good for you.
One of the things I did was play video games. Surprise, surprise.
Okay.
I completed 2 video games.
You completed 2 video games?
I completed them. I beated them.
Wow.
So, the first one that I beated was Shadow of the Colossus. This game is really old.
Not really, but sure.
It's from like 2006.
So old. Even though the movies that we're talking about, 3 out of 4 of them are older than that.
Well, for a game, it's old. It's like PS2.
Yeah, you don't get old.
Second generation.
I don't think a video game you can call old unless it's before PS2, like PS1 and back. And even PS1.
PS2's old now. The PS5 is out. There are 3 consoles after the PS2. It's old.
Yeah, but I just don't agree with calling it. You can call the PS1 old, even though I still feel kind of iffy about that.
Anyway, it doesn't matter because I played the remake.
And you hate it. Do you? I don't know.
I don't hate it.
Oh.
I actually liked it quite a bit.
Okay.
But.
Yes.
The gameplay is terrible.
Okay.
But everything else is awesome.
Okay.
The world, the like the story,
yeah.
The boss fights are really cool and really inventive.
The boss fights are like the only gameplay, basically.
Yeah. Well, you'd be surprised. Trying to ride that horse to the next destination can be quite a task.
Just to put this out there, I have played and beat this game on the PS2.
Whoa.
And on the PS3, actually. But you played it on the PS5?
I played it on the PS5, but I played the PS4 version, yeah.
Yeah, so I played on the PS2 and PS3. And I remember the horse being the worst.
It's
controlling part of the game.
You can't control it. It just does its own thing.
But everything else, I didn't really have a problem with. It was mainly just the horse. And I kind of took it as, maybe it's just an unruly horse. Maybe Akador's just a little, he's a little, got his own kind of spirit in him. He doesn't want to be told what to do.
That made me angry, but I was still sad when he fell off the cliff.
Did you ever get on top of a Colossus with the horse?
Can you do that?
You're not supposed to. But you can.
Nice. I'm sure there's a lot of really funny things you can do.
Yeah.
But this game, it was pretty good. I don't know. I really enjoyed everything except the gameplay really frustrated me often, and that kind of took a lot away of it from me.
I'm sorry that happened because I don't remember it ever really being much of a fun issue. I think there was one Colossus fight where, and it was probably just the Colossus itself, I don't know if it was necessarily controlled, that frustrated me, and it was the one that went underground in the sand,
That one was cool.
That was the only one that I ever had problems with.
You have to be on the horse for that one.
Right, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly, So I think other than that, that's the only one that really frustrated me too much to where I think I actually put down the game, because that boss battle was a little bit mean. But
I enjoyed that the game doesn't tell you basically anything. It tells you how to jump and attack, and climb, and that's it. It doesn't really give you anything else.
We don't really do much else.
Well, yeah, but in the Colossus fights, if you don't figure out what to do after the first 10 minutes, then the voice kind of gives a hint And sometimes the hints are helpful, but sometimes they're just like nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
I only had like big trouble with 2 of them where I was like, I literally don't know what to do. And I looked it up because I wasn't about to just sit there forever. It was the one in the water where you have to get on its head and hit like the teeth on its head to like steer it around. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Because you never swing the sword the whole game to like do anything. So I wasn't thinking like, oh, let me swing the sword at the thing, because you usually just stab it into the weak spots or whatever. So I never caught on to that one. Then I don't really remember the other one. But the very last Colossus fight, like, just, it was cool, but it pissed me off because I thought it was just like annoying. Like, you'd have to like climb up it and like stab its hand, and then it'll put his other hand there, and then you got to jump to his hand. And at least in my experience, the jumping to like other places from one place was like really frustratingly annoying. And I fell like multiple times, and it's just annoying because then you fall all the way down, then you have to climb all the way back up, and it takes like 10 minutes just to climb up this dude. So that got kind of annoying. And then I was kind of surprised by the ending. I thought it was kind of cool, but then like the baby, I was like, what?
Well, that's why you need to play Eco.
Is that the sequel?
I don't know. They're connected, but I'm not sure how. Even though I've played and beaten both multiple times, not sure. But they are connected. I don't know if he is. It might be a prequel, or it might have even come out first. I have no idea.
I don't know. But overall, I did like it. The music is incredible.
The music's like hands down, like
so
best part of the
good.
game.
But yeah, I thought it was good. I can understand why it's like very beloved game.
Well, I mean, think about even. I think you playing it now is kind of a disservice to the game, which I kind of feel bad for everybody who has waited to get to it, because think you called PS2 games old.
Right, yeah, back at that.
Think about that coming out, and you're in the
crazy.
PS2 era, you know, like we were playing like Over the Hedge and
love Over the Hedge,
like the show back then, you know,
the Bigs. We were playing the
Bigs, yeah. And then being like Shadow of the Colossus and be like, oh, okay, you know, it's kind of it's a like a cinematic feeling game, I think. You know,
oh, for sure.
It's everything's very deliberate, you know. So I feel like playing it after, especially the PS4 era, is a little bit of a disservice to how fresh it felt back in the day. Yeah. But I mean, that happens. Things get old, you know.
Yeah. And that's the only version I had, so. Yeah, though. But then I was surprised that during the credits, I noticed that it was remade by Blue Point, which will segue nice into the next game that I beat, which is the Demon Souls remake, which is also by Blue Point.
Yes.
And the Demon Souls remake, I never played I played the original Demon Souls, but when I got to this one area, my PS3, like, it just couldn't do it, and I literally would drop to like 2 frames, and I was like,
and that's normal, by the way.
Well, I can't play.
I know for a fact that is supposed to not supposed to happen, but it's like your version wasn't broke. Like, that's just how it is.
Okay, and I was like, well, I don't really want to do this.
Yeah.
So I just played the new one, and the remake is pretty awesome. So it was mostly new because I was only like a few areas in when I stopped. It's very different from all the other Souls games. The thing that I thought was really surprising was there's not really, like in the Souls games in Bloodborne and such, you hit the bonfires as like checkpoints throughout areas. That does like not exist in Demon Souls.
There's like one.
You have the Archstone, and you have to go through the entire area and beat the boss before you can get the next one. There's only Archstones after you beat a boss. So you have these like huge, ginormous areas that you can like be running through for like literally hours before you get to the boss, and then you die, and then you have to start all the way over again. So that part was really difficult. But I mean, the gameplay, and you could see like just the side by side of what they did is just amazing, and it shows the power of the PS5. And this is just like, you know, right at the start. I'm really excited for games in the future, but
yeah, I know there was, I don't want to say controversy is the right word, but they made a lot of weird decisions. People I just have pointed out to me. Particularly the thing that most people seem to be upset about is like enemy designs. they like redid a lot of them, and you see the side by sides, and a lot of them are like worse for some reason. And I just thought that was an interesting change. Of all things to change, why even bother coming up with a whole new design yourself that a lot of people disagree with?
Well, I do know that when the trailer came out, they showed the Flame Lurker, which is like probably the most famous boss from the game, and it had a whole new design, and people were like really upset about that one. When they actually changed it back to like the original version, but you know, it looks a lot better than what it did.
Yeah.
So I don't know about the other ones, but I knew that it was people were very vocal about the Flame Lurker.
This wasn't like a question to you. This was just like a question to I guess it's to Blue Point.
Yeah.
Just like I wonder what the thought process is between like, let's change these like regular enemy designs, like, you know, instead of just making them look better.
Yeah.
I just think it's a strange way to go. Not that I have any two feelings about it. I heard again, this is all random people on the internet.
Yeah.
That Demon Souls is like the toughest game to play if you've already played all the other Dark Souls, you know, because it's backwards a little bit, you know, because it feels like going back so far. But I heard that it's actually the easiest.
Okay, so here's the thing. I first started playing, and I was like, in all the Souls games, everything, I always do strength build.
Yeah.
I don't use magic or anything. I just go strength build. I get a big giant weapon, and I beat the crap out of things. It works in all the Souls games. That does not work in this game, I found out.
Yeah.
So I was like 13 hours into this one playthrough, my first one, and I was like not really getting it. I like just hit like a wall, and I like was doing no damage to these bosses. I was like, what do I do? Like, I don't want to hit a boss 200 times just to kill it. So I watched a video that was in my like, you know, queue or whatever, waiting to watch, because I wasn't going to watch till after I beat the game, but it was a Vati video about how to be OP.
You didn't use the cards? The little PlayStation 5 little tips and tricks thing they have now?
No, I didn't.
It's right there.
Because Vati is the king of Souls.
But what's the purpose of the thing then?
I don't know. I never clicked on
them. I thought they were literally supposed to be like try fire weapons and stuff like that. Is that not what they are?
I don't know. I never really looked into them.
I'm pretty sure that's what they are. They're like tips online. They're like, look at these popular videos of how to beat this area and stuff like that.
Anyway.
Just built into the PS5 so you don't even have to leave.
So I was like probably barely halfway through the game. Maybe not even halfway, really. I watched this video, and I was like, okay, to do this stuff in the video, I have to start a new character. Okay. So I was like, okay, I'll start a new character. And the thing that's really OP in Demon Souls is magic.
Yeah, okay.
It's like super broken. So I made a magic character, and I beat the game in 10 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Less than...
Then how you got halfway?
When I got halfway. So super OP. I beat every boss first try except for the Dragon Lord, because that's not like it's a boss fight, but it's not like you're fighting the boss. It's like running around to like get to a contraption to like have the contraption shoot the boss, because the boss is like Gigantor.
Yeah.
And he like one shots you if you like make the wrong move. But even though it was very, very easy, it was still pretty awesome, and I really enjoyed it. It was actually sad. Usually the Souls games can be sad if you like look into it, but I found the story to be a lot more accessible in Demon Souls. And some of the boss fights, I was like actually sad, and the ending kind of made me sad too. I was like, oh, this is kind of sad. And there's multiple endings in Demon Souls 2, which I didn't know, because they have that in all the Dark Souls games.
Yeah.
But I didn't know they did it in this one too. But I've officially played the one that started it all, and I'm happy.
Can't wait for Demon Souls 2.
Yes. I'd rather have Bloodborne 2, but, you know.
I'd rather have Armored Core 8.
Armored Core. Okay. I also watched a couple TV shows.
All right.
Obviously, The Expanse was back again. These past 2 episodes were pretty good. The latest one was a big slowdown from kind of the like super high that we've been on, which I feel like it just was a big slowdown to prepare us for a really high tension final 2 episodes, because the next 2 are the penultimate and then the finale.
Okay.
So a lot of crazy stuff is going to go down. The latest episode had a big cliffhanger where basically, no spoilers, but one of the main characters is in extreme peril, and then like half of the other characters are walking into a trap that they don't know, and then there's like 2 main characters that are like just like chilling.
Okay.
So like there's potential that like everyone dies,
Right.
which won't happen, but I'm excited to see the conclusion to season 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started a new show called Community. Have you seen this?
That is so weird.
Did you start Community?
No, but
Oh.
I just had a conversation with a friend Thursday night who was like, you should really start Community. And I was like, I almost did, but I flipped a coin, like apparently they do in Community, and watched Arrested Development instead. But it's been on my radar since it was coming out. So
Yeah, so I've like heard of the show, but I never really like knew what it was or like what it was about or like who was in it.
Chevy Chase.
Yes.
And Joel McHale.
And yes, which he will come up later.
Yes.
A lot of famous people. But this show is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like my exact kind of humor. It's just great. I've only seen like the first like 12 episodes, which is only like half of the first season. But I mean, I'm like belly laughing like every episode. Joel McHale is hilarious. I love his screen presence, and all the characters are super likable. There's like 8 main characters. Donald Glover is hilarious. I don't really see him in much, but I guess he's in like this show, so I guess that's where I missed him, because I didn't really start seeing him on screen until like Solo.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then obviously I listened to his music, but
Yeah.
that's not the same. But it's absolutely hilarious, and I'm just excited for the ride of Community.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not even though it's like a sitcom, it's not like uninteresting visually. Like there are doing some cool things and stuff with the camera, which I always appreciate. And then I didn't know this, but Anthony and Joe Russo are like big producers for this show. I didn't know, and they directed a whole bunch of episodes. And I found out that the like finale of season 2, like the 2-episode finale, is kind of like a play on Clint Eastwood like westerns. And apparently those 2 episodes got them on Marvel's radar to direct The Winter Soldier, which I found out last week, which I thought was really interesting. So that's kind of why I started to watch Community, because I heard that. And I was like, oh, really? That's interesting. I'll check Community out. So, yeah.
Cool.
Little fun fact there. And then I kind of have not a lot. Okay, so I'm watching like a lot of animes at the same time, but not like binging. Okay. They're all just like weekly. So I remember I talked about Promised Neverland like way back.
Yeah.
The second season that has come out now. And so far it's pretty good. It's moving like really fast. And there was things that have happened that I always thought would happen, but I didn't think they'd happen like so early. So I thought that was really interesting. But it is going in an interesting direction. I don't think it's as engaging as the first season. But with this latest 3rd episode, it was ended on a big like mystery thing. So hopefully the rest of the season kind of picks up a little bit, but I still do enjoy it very much. And then I picked up a new anime called Skate the Infinity, which is just about like skater dudes. And I'm usually not into like that kind of like slice of life stuff, but this show it's just really fun, and it just kind of like makes you happy. And we need some of that every now and then, even me who enjoys Attack on Titan. And then Jujutsu Kaisen is continuing.
Yeah.
It's still really good. And then I'm not ashamed, but I picked up Boruto.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm not watching. I'm just picking it up where it's at right now. I'm not watching all 180 episodes until now. I'm picking it up right now because I've heard
the original writer's coming back.
That this new arc that they're doing is like supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll pick it up.
That's funny that's why you're picking it up, because most of the discourse I've seen is people are like, oh no, the original writer is coming back. He's going to ruin Boruto. It's like the main thing that I've been seeing mostly.
I don't know anything about it. I watched like the first 30 episodes of Boruto, and I was like, this is boring, Toe.
Yeah. Nice.
So I stopped. And I mean, it's been okay so far, but it's just kind of like building up to whatever is going to happen. I don't know. So yeah. And then obviously Attack on Titan has
Yes,
happened
yes,
again.
yes.
2 more episodes. What'd you think of the declaration of war?
Good job. You did declare it.
He declared war, didn't he?
It has been declared. So good job. Very explosive episode, I would say. Finally getting to see the familiar kind of faces. See everyone's changed a little bit,
Yeah.
which is very fun.
Flotch is still super ugly, so that's clutch.
Yeah. You really thought he was that ugly before?
Hate him. He's terrible.
Yeah, he's not.
He's
great.
the worst person.
Connie has some hair now
Connie.
instead of the completely shaved head, so that's cool.
He's clutch.
No, very, very exciting. I mean, no,
I thought they were awesome.
Yeah,
I was
no.
screaming.
It was definitely like the most exciting, like blood pumping episode I think of like the whole series so far.
Yeah, it was really good.
Just because everything's kind of coming to a head and you know that it's ending, so I think that always helps when you know that this
It's
is
like, oh
it,
man, this is
because
the
then
big
it's like
battle.
anything could happen or whatever.
Yeah.
Very exciting, and the animation, Mappa's doing a fantastic job. I think.
Yes, I wanted to talk about this because there's a lot of. Well, okay,
There
I don't know if
is.
there's a lot of people, but it's either. It doesn't seem like a lot of people because I don't really see it. But
I saw
see
people sending
talking
death
about
threats.
It's there's a very vocal minority, I would say,
Yeah.
that is like really angry that Mappa's using CGI for the Titans.
Yeah.
Which Wit Studio did do, not for all the time like it is now,
Yeah.
but there's also Wit Studio had like 4 years to animate like season 2 or whatever.
Wow. Yeah.
And then, there was like another couple years in between 2 and 3. So they have like hella time. And then Mappa has like literally months to animate Attack on Titan. And
Hey, but they got a week break around Christmas, so
Yeah.
what's their excuse?
so they're literally doing it in like like 1/32 of the time that Wit had. And honestly, I think it's better. I really like Mappa's style they have. And honestly, I think the style change for like this time hop that we've had and stuff, I think it like really works with the show actually.
It does, yeah.
Especially because like the point of view
Has changed.
So the animation is awesome. People be tripping.
Yeah.
And the CGI looks good.
Yeah, no, it does. It's I don't think it's out of place. Like I think it fits right in.
Yeah, I was never like, oh.
Right, exactly.
I was like, this is freaking awesome. The Warhammer looks sick.
right. They're just a bunch of babies.
They are. They're a bunch of little crybabies.
Yeah.
And Mappa, you're doing great.
You're doing a great
They're
job.
working really
Keep it
hard.
up.
They have like
Yes.
4, I think it's like 4 like top of the line animes that are like really popular going right now because they do Jujutsu Kaisen too, which is like really popular. But yeah, and then the music, bro. I've always been a fan of the AOT music. It's probably my favorite like original music from like any TV show, movie. But so far, the music in season 4 has like really been cooking for me. I don't know, especially in the latest episode. I was like, dang, it's so good.
It's good.
But yeah, I was screaming, bro. When Levi shows up, I had my green headband on to represent. He's the only person that has the cape. Everyone else dropped the capes.
And Mikasa's haircut.
Yeah. Man Casa. That's what some people are saying. Shut up.
I mean, no, I won't lie. When she first appeared, I was like, you know?
Levi?
For a split second, I was like, wait, why does Levi have a red scarf on?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I watched the episode a few times, and it didn't take till the third time I saw the episode that, because when Levi comes in and cuts the jaw Titan, I was like, whoa, Levi showed up. But there's like earlier, like a few shots earlier, there's one where like Eren is going to eat the Warhammer or whatever. He's like about to eat it, and it's kind of like a high angle, and you can see him like holding the chick. And he's like, I'm gonna eat you.
Yeah.
But then like kind of in the foreground, in like the corner of the screen, there's like this big pole, and there's someone standing on top of it, and you can see like the cape, like his cape like fluttering. And like I never noticed that like the first 2 times, but you can see him like standing there.
Yeah.
Because it seems like he comes from nowhere, but he's literally standing there the whole time like waiting. So
Like
I thought
the
that was a cool
programmers
little detail.
in Spy Kids 3.
Yes, just like that.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is. They're standing there with the capes flowing, like, or trench coats.
We're gonna bounce you back to level 1. But yeah, AOT is going freaking crazy, and I'm super hyped. Tomorrow we get a new one.
It's very exciting doing this. How much is left?
I don't know. I don't know how long the season's going to be. But no spoilers.
Okay.
But I have heard from unreliable sources that we've talked about this before, that every great show or movie has a court scene. I have heard rumors.
Already had a court scene though.
That but kind of.
Kind of.
There is a court scene. I don't know anything about this. Okay. But I'm just saying.
I can see it.
But yeah. Oh, one more thing I wanted to touch. Well, technically two.
Okay.
The absolute death stare that Sasha gives Gabby when she snipes those dudes was like, so because Sasha, we know Sasha as like the comedic relief, her and Connie, and Sasha's like literally like Satan staring down to little Gabby, and Gabby will remember that, I think.
Yeah,
they might have a showdown. And then one thing was this quote from Isayama, who is the writer of the manga. He said, I thought this was funny. This is a real thing he said.
Okay.
Once Attack on Titan is over and I successfully hurt everyone, I dream of opening a spa with the tears and sweat of my readers.
Wow. Okay.
That's a real thing he said.
All right.
So that's what we have to look forward to.
Okay.
For the rest of the season. So that's exciting.
All right. I can live with that. I want to point out that the Cart Titan
Peak-san
was on to Armin. Just saying. You know,
she was. She knows.
Even though she still fell in the trap and everything, it's, Cart Titan won, Armin also won.
So we know you're a big fan of the Cart Titan.
Yeah.
But are you a big fan of Peak? Because Peak has been taking over the internet these past few weeks. People are loving Peak. They're hard.
Oh, yes, they are hard.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they're one and the same to me. If you love the Cart Titan, you gotta love the gal, because that's who she is.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
It's cool. She can be my big milker GF.
Oh, man.
My tired big milker GF. Well, we'll bring it over to my week.
Yeah.
Then I did a few things. Sometimes I just put on movies that I don't really have an interest in watching. Like, sometimes I'm interested in a movie for like a split second, and then I'll actually like learn about it, and I'll be like, no, I don't want to watch this.
Right.
And then sometimes I'm interested for a split second, and I'm like, you know what? This time, just watch it. Don't look at it any more than a second. Just click it immediately and watch it. And with that, I watched a movie called The Good Boy with Judy Greer.
Good Boy. Is that the one? No, I'm thinking of. Never mind.
It's new.
Okay.
I can't find this. It's very hard to actually find this movie. I don't even remember where I watched it, but when I Google it, it like doesn't show up. Very strange.
Okay.
It's about a woman who she's kind of stressed out, so she adopts a puppy, like a little dog. It's not really a puppy, but a little dog. And the little dog is actually a weird demon creature that kills everybody who makes her anxious.
Nice.
And that's the movie. So
Good Boy.
So she's like a journalist kind of girl or whatever. Her boss fires her. Oh, the puppy kills the boss.
Does she say good boy after the puppy kills people?
Well, it's not like she knowingly adopted this puppy being like, yes, my murder machine. She was like, oh, I want a nice soft dog. And then it starts killing people. So of course she says good boy and pets him.
Got it.
Like,
I thought she knew that the dog was
No,
people.
it was a total accident. She does find out, but it's a total accident. The movie's not great. Okay. The dog's really cute.
Oh, it better be.
His name is Reuben.
That's a cute name.
It's a cute name because he steals Reuben's sandwich.
Nice.
And we watched Sound of Metal before, and that guy's name was Reuben. It was kind of weird.
Which will come up again later.
And it's fine. It's a fine movie. Like solid 5 out of 10. Just like perfectly. It's whatever.
So now that we've heard you tell us what it's about, no one has to see it.
Exactly. That's why I decided, because it's like,
thank you for doing us the service.
Or whatever. It's a cute dog. If you want to see a cute dog covered in blood, it's great for that. 10 out of 10 for that.
Any good gore?
Yeah, totally. There's a little bit.
Okay.
Does
the dog like jump through somebody?
No, the dog is like a weird. It's like jaws come out. And it's got teeth. It's like you don't really
like
get to see it too
Pennywise.
much. Yeah, it's like Pennywise.
Penny dog.
I don't know what kind of dog it is. It looks like a tiny. It's like if a border collie was like tiny. It looks like that kind of.
Interesting.
I also watched another kind of gory. Well, actually, like the rest of these things are kind of gory, so sort of. I watched The Cleansing Hour, which is on Shudder, because I'm trying to make use of my Shudder subscription.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised by The Cleansing Hour.
The Cleansing Hour.
I'm not saying it's like 10 out of 10, but it's like if you need something to watch, you'll feel sated, I think. You might not think it's great, but you'll at least be like, that was at least okay. You know?
Yeah.
It is about a dude who is a live streamer.
Nice.
Who he does exorcisms on his live stream, but they're all fake.
Cool.
They're all fake. It's just a show, you know, it's a production.
Yeah.
Except this time, it's not.
No.
And the woman actually gets possessed by some demon, and the whole movie is the one live stream. It's not from a live stream, like it is an actual movie. It's not like a webcam movie, you know?
Yeah.
It is an actual film, which I was like, oh, thank God. But it's kind of fun because half the movie is, you know, them talking to this demon and trying to figure out who the demon is so they can actually like find the right ritual to like dispel it. And I thought it was just kind of interesting dynamic of it's like we have a list of like 17 demons that this could be and taking clues from what she's saying and being like, oh,
it's Paimon.
Yeah, kind of like that. Exactly. And it gets a little there's kind of a weird thing with the main character's like backstory is like super important to the film, and it feels a little bit like it shouldn't have been so based around this one thing. Just because it seems weird to like pick on this one dude, but I don't. That's like a very small nitpick. You might enjoy it, and then the ending kind of takes a turn. It's a very not like a turn out of nowhere, but it just kind of like ends in a way that I wasn't quite expecting, and it kind of ends. And I was just like, oh, okay. And they're not gonna explain anything else. They're just gonna be like, yeah, that happened, and then life goes on. Like, okay.
Life goes on.
And I don't want to spoil it because it is kind of an interesting and I thought it was a pretty exciting, if not a little. Are you sure you want to try to handle this kind of subject situation?
Okay.
You know, but still, I thought it was quite good. I put it on and I was gonna ignore it, but it sucked me in.
Ooh.
So you know, there you go. That's a good praise, I think.
Yeah.
The Cleansing Hour. I also watched another episode of Higurashi, which is the anime that I'm watching alongside Attack on Titan. It was the speedrunning episode.
Okay. Wait. Where are they speedrunning?
Life.
Are they speedrunning Sword Art Online in the anime?
No, they're speedrunning Life.
Oh, okay.
They're doing quick as deaths, any % run.
Nice.
And that's the whole episode. No, it was good. It really seems like tomorrow night I'm excited. The plot will really start happening. Not that the plot's not happening, but the nature of the show that it's like time loops kind of lends itself to being a little bit repetitive, obviously. So it really seems like I'll really get a good step forward in what the rest of the show is going to be like. You know?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I like it.
2 more TV shows.
We all watch TV. We
did.
watch so much TV.
I watched a Marvel thing called Wanda Maximoff something. WandaVision. Called WandaVision. Long Division.
Wandissimo.
I like to call it Long Division because when they sing the song, it sounds like Long Division. It is the new Marvel thing with Wanda and Vision, and they're in TV land.
Yay.
Everyone seems to really be enjoying it so far. It's only 3 episodes as of right now, right?
I don't know. I don't watch it.
You're not watching it, yeah. Everyone seems to be liking it.
Of course.
They're like, oh, it's original. It's
like
new,
The Mandalorian.
It's so fresh. It's blah, blah, blah. Even though the whole basis is homages, so how can it be fresh when it's literally look at these old things? But it's fresh for Marvel, which I really think isn't a high bar to set, but whatever.
Marvel episode coming soon.
Right. We don't have much information at all. Like the first 2 episodes, you basically get nothing. You're totally left in the dark about what's actually happening. The first 2 episodes are black and white sitcoms, you know.
Ugh, black and white.
I know, right?
Disgusting.
They're the multicam, you know, kind of setup shots where it's like you don't see the fourth wall ever. And since there's no plot, it's just like mediocre episodes of a sitcom, but like that's the point, so you're supposed to like laugh harder. But I'm just like, if I was taking this at face value, this would be like a really shitty show. Like nobody would like it. But since it's like secretly actually a Marvel thing, but for some reason 2 full episodes of like nudge nudge wink wink really aren't doing it for me. I'm just like, okay, none of this is gonna matter because it's probably just all in her head, right? It's probably just Wanda's crazy and she's imagining all the things, right?
Right.
The 3rd episode gives you like the whole thing is that they have 2 like normal episodes. 25 of like the 30-minute runtime are, well, actually no, 20 minutes of the 30-minute runtime are normal sitcom stuff. Then there's like 2 minutes of freaky, oh look, stuff's weird moments, and then there's 8 minutes of credits on every episode because they show the credits for every single language that the show is in as well. So the credits are like 8 minutes long.
Nice.
So it's like a 33-minute runtime.
Okay.
But it's not really 30. It's weird. It's very strange. I don't get it. Anyway, 3rd episode, it's color. She has babies. This is just what the show is. You don't need to watch it.
Yeah, spoil it. I don't care.
As of right now, they have babies together.
Crazy.
Billy and Tommy. She has a baby in a day. In a single episode, she gets pregnant and has the babies because she's magic or whatever.
Yeah.
Billy and Tommy.
She can speed up the
Yeah, exactly.
process.
And it seems like the next episode, there's only going to be 9 episodes. We're on episode 3.
It's a weird number.
Yeah. It seems like we're going to start because finally in this one, we got something actually real.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the neighbor lady came over and she was like, oh, congrats on the twins, right?
Do you think it's Tony Stark?
No, it's definitely not.
Okay.
Because he's dead.
So is Vision.
Yeah, but it's a mind thing.
Exactly. It's a mind thing. Could be Tony Stark.
She could imagine Tony Stark, yeah, but
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think they'd get him. I don't think they could afford Robert Downey Jr. for the show, probably.
Wow.
Isn't he?
You just totally roasted Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany.
Well,
heck, man.
yeah, but I thought literally he was like the highest paid. I thought he was.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. So there's no way he'd be like, yeah, I'll take 1/8 of my $8 trillion to be on the show. Anyway, she has the twins, and Wanda for a second goes, I was a twin, right? And then
Rest in peace, Quicksilver.
Pietro, right?
Didn't see that coming.
And then the lady straight up goes, it's like, oh, he was killed by Ultron, wasn't he? And then she's like, she actually kind of like wakes up for a second, and she's like, oh, yeah. What did you say? And then she's like, forget it. And then she boots her out of the TV land, and she like flies out into like the neighbor lady, into like a military complex, and there's like this huge force field over TV land. So it seems like Wanda's just sitting in there making things up. And there's people who can get in and kind of hide in it. So it kind of makes you wonder how many of them are real and how many of them aren't real, or are none of them not real? Like, I don't know. It's very strange. But it seems like she's part of S.W.O.R.D. because she's got the sword necklace. And S.W.O.R.D. is like S.H.I.E.L.D., but it's sword. And
I didn't know they played Pokemon in the show.
Yeah, exactly. S.W.O.R.D. is I don't know really anything about S.W.O.R.D. I don't
Super Wombo Oculus, really dumb.
Yeah, it is. It truly is. I think Beast from the X-Men is part of S.W.O.R.D. I think.
Good for him.
I like Beast. He's like my favorite X-Men. I like Beast a lot. Nicholas Hoult,
Yeah.
He's a cool dude. We'll see. It seems like the show's going to actually start having a plot now. You just got to get through the first 3 episodes of who cares. To me, maybe somebody cares. But the fact that it's all in her head, it just doesn't really get me too bad. But
Sounds
yeah.
interesting, but not interesting enough to where I'm going to watch it.
It's short, it's not that long, but there is a scene where Vision gets drunk.
That sounds so funny. Oh my gosh.
He acts drunk. He doesn't actually drink, but Paul Bettany does a good job. He's a good physical actor with that. That's the least. Like when I stopped watching and I was like, okay, let's just pretend this is a real show and this is just what's happening on the show. I was like, this is enjoyable enough because they're doing a magic act, but he's actually doing magic, and Wanda has to make it look like it's not actually magic. And when you take that out of context, I was like, you know what, that's interesting. And that was it. Did the whole show for me.
Yay.
Yep, it's fine. No, it's not even fine. It's like, why even bother?
Is it better than The Mandalorian?
No,
Okay, good.
it's not even close. And I don't even like The Mandalorian that much.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway, I also started one other show. I'm only like 5 episodes in.
Another show?
4 episodes in. I started it. You might have heard of it. It's called The Sopranos.
You started that?
I started The Sopranos.
That means I have to start it.
It does?
Probably.
Well, don't you want to know if I think it's good or not?
Of course you think it's good.
It's really good.
Of course you think it's good.
Obviously, you go in
What
with
do
the
you mean?
expectation that it's going to be good, but I don't think I've ever been as immediately enthralled by a show as The Sopranos for how little...
Why are you saying Sopranos?
What?
I've just never heard anyone say that. It's always Sopranos.
Soprano, whatever. It's tomato.
No, it's not. No one says tomato. That's the thing.
It's potato.
They always say potato,
it's
potato.
the gabagool, the prosciutto, the mozzarella.
I'm just saying, no one says, here, do you want tomatoes on
Will
that?
you say alto or alto?
Alto. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you say I don't know or I don't know? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. What do I say?
Okay. Did you finish the first season?
No, not even close. I'm like 5 episodes in.
Okay, maybe I'll catch up.
Which is what I'm
I have to
saying.
watch that in Community. Thanks a lot.
Damn. Well, I was gonna start Community anyway, so we'll be even.
Okay.
What I was saying was I've never been so quickly involved in a show. Like, I was in there in the first episode, and like, real talk, not a lot happens in the first episode. Like,
a lot of chilling.
very little, just a lot of people talking, but for some reason, something about it just really got me in there. I want to know
the way they talk.
It is. That's it. It's literally that's as
It's
deep
the
as it goes.
accent.
And that's not a joke. That is it.
It's the accent.
Tony. Exactly. And it's got me. I'm invested in Tony. He's a really cool dude, you know? And the idea of him, do you know anything about the show?
The gangsters.
They're part of the mob.
Yeah.
And Tony's like high up there.
Yeah, he's Tony Soprano.
The whole deal that I didn't actually know about the show is that kind of where the show starts is when Tony starts going to therapy.
Yeah, I knew that he was a therapy man.
Right. And I feel like that dynamic between a guy, because he's having panic attacks, so that's like his wife is like, you gotta go.
Like Mr. Robot.
Well, yeah, kind of, yeah. It does remind me of that. And it's the idea of seeing this guy who you would never really picture going to therapy, talking about his emotions, albeit like begrudgingly usually, and working through these very, deep thoughts and intricate things that he has is very rewarding. Very rewarding watching him kind of figure himself out. It's very fun. His doctor, Dr. Milfy.
Is it really Milfy?
It's Melfi, but I say Milfy because...
Of course.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
For 2 very obvious reasons. No, she's great. Just a very fun show. He hacks her.
Yeah? Is that...
He kind of does. He literally hires a dude and he's like, follow her, tell me everything about her. And then he does. And then they make her and her boyfriend break up. I was like, this is like really fun.
Nice.
It's very fun. I like the show. It's 7 seasons. Well, technically it's 6, but the last season was broken up into 2.
Like Breaking Bad.
And they're both full-length season long. So it's 7 seasons.
Okay.
The one thing that's interesting to me, and I don't know if I'm speaking out of, if what I'm going to say is not going to make any sense, but it's like 1999 or something when the show starts. And they're in New York. And in the opening credits, the Twin Towers are in the opening, sequence.
Right.
And it's 1999 when the show's first coming out.
Yes.
I have no idea if they're going to even touch the subject, if it's going to be completely, if it's going to change kind of stuff that happens in the show. Because, it's such a big deal. I've never really experienced something like that. I don't know if they're going to... I'm interested, which probably sounds sick, but it's like with such a change in just like everything and how... I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I want to see what happens and if they do actually address it and see if it maybe changed a little bit of the show or not. I don't know, but we'll see.
We will see.
And probably won't take that long. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I like it.
It's good. I recommend it, even though I just started it.
I'll have to start it too.
I recommend it. A penis. A bird steals his penis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It swoops down and it goes.
Nice. Hate it when that happens.
I know.
Okay, time for the news.
Time for the news. Okay, breaking news. A man's penis was stolen on the beach today.
No way.
No, but actually, the Sopranos prequel movie,
yes, I've heard.
The Many
this.
Saints of Newark, has its release date moved.
Up or back?
It was originally March 12th, and it had already moved from September. It was September, and it moved to March 12th, 2021. It was September 2020 to
Yes.
March this year.
Got it.
And now it's going to be September 24th this year. So it's been like a whole year moved back.
Cool.
But it's going to be on HBO Max. So maybe by September I'll be done. That's kind of my plan.
Yeah.
To be done with it. So I have plenty of time. Be
Yeah,
done with
me
The
too.
Sopranos by then. Catch the prequel movie.
HBO Max, though.
Hope it'll be just as good as El Camino.
Oh, El Camino is so great. I can't wait till we get to have a whole episode to talk about El Camino.
We're not going to have a whole episode for El Camino. Would we?
Would we do El Camino in our Breaking Bad pod?
I would assume we'd do it on the Breaking Bad one.
Be prepared for a 5-hour Breaking Bad podcast where 3 of the hours is us talking about how much we love El Camino. So
We love
good.
it.
It's so good.
El Camino actually is Spanish for I love Breaking Bad.
And then we can also talk about our cool experience we had seeing that
Oh,
no one
yeah.
else got to have except for us.
That's true.
and
We're
other
the
people at
only
theater.
people who got to have that, and everybody else who was around.
At the theater. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the prequel movie, I don't want to really read too much about it because even though it's a prequel,
Yeah.
I'm afraid of people saying like at the end of the Soprano series when Tony gets cancer and shoots himself, like, you know, I don't want to know what happens.
Tony gets cancer and becomes a meth kingpin.
Honestly, watching the show, even though it kind of feels like an alternate reality where Skyler like never found out, you know, and
Okay.
he just got to the top of a drunk empire and he's just like living life now.
Nice.
It kind of almost feels like that, you know, except I don't really know how heinous Tony is yet. He's a bad guy, but I don't know if he's like a
bad guy.
really, like, you know, who knows.
I like it.
What's next? David Hasselhoff.
Love him. Great.
Have you ever wanted not a life-size David Hasselhoff, but a 2.5 times life-size David Hasselhoff in your house, in your home?
Yes.
Naked in a Speedo?
You know what? We should get one, and we can put him next to Marilyn here.
Well, I don't
Yeah,
think
right
this
here.
clears like 14 feet, actually.
Well, we can get a smaller one then.
It's just the one.
Well, then we'll just have to get a different one.
We can cut his legs off, and it'll be fun. Just put him next
There we
to
go.
him. And David Hasselhoff is selling his 14-foot statue of himself from... Do you know where that's from? The 14-foot life-size...
SpongeBob.
It is from the SpongeBob movie. Exactly. Of himself. It is very...
Wow, yeah, that's striking. Yeah, that looks great.
It's him. He's got his mouth agape. You could probably fit your head in there, maybe.
So, if you're into that,
If
you
you're
want to
into
put
that-
your whole head inside of David Hasselhoff's mouth.
Because they have that... Remember that... I don't know if you saw that huge skeleton Home Depot was selling on Twitter, you know?
Mm-mm.
Well, there's this huge, like, 13-foot skeleton. So you could have one of those, and you could have it fight the David Hasselhoff in the middle of your yard, you know?
Okay.
And, wow. Estimated selling price is supposed to be between... Wait, that can't be about... Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Scary.
I just saw a close-up of the thing, and it's not good. Anyway, he's selling it for, like, hundreds of thousands of dollars. He's also selling his Knight Rider car.
Cool.
And you get a lunch date with him.
Nice.
That's cool.
Do you have to buy both?
Yes. No, I don't know. Maybe you can buy just the date. $20.
Interesting.
Anyway, it's if you've got the money, you know, go for it. If you want to donate it to us, we will take it
Yes. To improve the show.
to improve the show. Yeah. Anyway, Paddington director Paul King signs on for Willy Wonka prequel.
What? Oh, I don't even want to hear any more about this. Next.
It's a Willy Wonka prequel. It's gonna be called Wonka. You know, just Wonka. And here's how I see the trailer. it goes, "Come with me," and that cuts to black,
Yeah.
and you'll be cut to black in a world, and then it's like Wonka like punching someone to death and blood's coming up on his face.
Yep.
A pure imagination.
Yep. That's
It's
it.
slow piano, and then it ends on the bum 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 bum. That little piano thing, and that's gonna be the trailer. Because what else is it gonna be? I wonder if they're gonna go the.
You're right.
Because Charlie and the Chocolate Factory had a bit of a flashback scenes, like he did the Wakanda Forever to the Oompa Loompas. That's how he like got them. They did do that.
They did.
And stuff like that. So I don't know. I think it's weird to go to Willy Wonka's backstory.
This is stupid.
It's kind of. I thought the whole Willy Wonka thing was mystique. Like, who is this strange dude who has this fact? Like, that's kind of part of his charm and his allure. So
like Joker.
Like Joker.
And it's funny that it's called Wonka.
Yeah, like this is like a joke you would make after seeing Joker and just be like, let's call it Wonker. Wonka. Not Wonker. Anyway, it is from the Paddington's pretty good. Paddington 2, it's
I haven't seen the Paddingtons, but I've heard they're good. But just, this is a stupid idea. That's it. Next.
I can't wait for that trailer though.
Yeah, I guess.
Caillou.
Yay.
Canceled. Cancel Caillou by PBS, and parents couldn't be happier. Finally,
they couldn't be happier.
This bald little fuck is. Have you seen Caillou?
No.
Oh, so you don't know Caillou.
I don't know.
Caillou is a bitch.
Oh.
Caillou is a whiny, disrespectful little puke, and he hates his parents, and he throws tantrums, and he sucks.
Sounds like Flush.
It's like a very awful TV show. The whole deal with Caillou, it's a 20-year-old show.
That's long. That's a lot of years.
Whole deal with Caillou is I think it was like a book or whatever first, right? Like a storybook or something. And Caillou was like 2 years old or something. So he's like a literal baby.
Okay.
So in the book, he cries a lot, because he's a baby. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But in the show, he's like 5, but they keep his character the same. So he's a 5-year-old that literally acts like an actual baby, but like can talk.
I don't know.
No, that's what it is. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So imagine like a 5-year-old acting like a literal 2-year-old would.
Nice.
And so people are just saying, he's a bad influence on kids because it makes them, he just cries at everything and tries to get what he wants. And his parents don't really scold him too much because originally he was 2. You don't scold a 2-year-old too hard.
Yeah.
You just kind of deal with it. So when you have this little living, thinking creature, well, babies can think, but you know what I mean.
Creature.
You have this little cancer boy, and I hate him. Look at his stupid face.
He has a stupid face.
It's so dumb. I hate him. Oh, God.
Thank you. Next.
He's bad. He likes vanilla ice cream, I guess, though. That's cool. What is next? The Mandalorian.
Oh, great. Our favorite topic.
Top's 2020 list of most pirated TV series.
Wow. Who would have thought that the most popular show would also be the most pirated?
Right, exactly.
This is crazy. What a revelation.
But I think also that the fact that, does this mean people are refusing to, the whole plan with The Mandalorian was let's get people to subscribe to Disney Plus.
Trust me.
For The Mandalorian.
People are subscribed to Disney Plus.
Yeah. Hamilton was another big thing that was supposed to get people in there.
Disney is doing just fine.
Yeah. But it is interesting that The Mandalorian, I guess just because when you have the whole franchise behind it, it seems that, like, who wouldn't have seen this coming? That it was the most pirated thing.
Yeah, what?
Because it's not like everybody's going to... Most people, I would say, I know, really don't need Disney Plus or even want Disney Plus, It's people who are Disney fans, who like the animated movies and stuff like that. And then people like us. That's it.
We need to have every streaming service
even
just in case.
Even like Marvel people, I know a lot of people who are into Marvel, but most of them already just own the movies.
Yeah, exactly.
So they don't need Disney Plus, So if they're that big into it, usually
but they got to watch Free Solo, man.
Guys, watch Free Solo. It's good. So yeah, I never thought that they'd be getting too many people to not pirate it. You know what I mean? Because it feels like the interests are so separate.
Yeah.
You're either a Disney guy or you're the Marvel guy or you're the National Geographic guy.
Yeah, exactly.
The Muppet Show is coming to Disney Plus, though, so you can also be a Muppet guy.
Yay.
The Muppet Show, there's 5 seasons. I actually haven't watched, not none of it, but I've barely watched The Muppet Show.
Me too.
Like the original Muppet Show. So I might check it out. Muppets are cool. I like Muppets.
It's not a cookie.
Give me your best Gonzo impression. That's spot on. Wow, good job.
Thanks.
The HBO's Last of Us series finally got a director in Kantemir Balagov, who was the director of Beanpole, which regrettably I've not seen yet.
Same. But I was interested.
Exactly. I was very interested in. Just a little update because this is still happening.
I know. I saw a lot of people saying that the Joel and Ellie, Joel should be Nikolaj Coster-Waldau from Game of Thrones fame, and that Ellie should be Caitlin Bennett, I think that's her name.
Okay.
From Booksmart.
Gotcha.
Which, yeah.
I can see it.
People say that Caitlin Bennett's like too old, but I mean, they do that all the time.
They do that all the time.
Just make her look a little younger.
Look at Tom Holland.
Exactly. Exactly.
Tom Holland plays a 15-year-old. He's 16 now, I think, but
Ellie's like
14 in the first game?
Because she's 18 in 2, and 2 is
5 years later.
So she's 13.
But The Last of Us takes place over the course of a year.
Right.
Yeah.
See, fine. What's wrong with that?
Right, exactly.
No problem.
No
She could totally be it anyway. But yeah.
Still,
But that'd be sweet if Jamie Lannister got to be Joel. That'd be cool.
Yeah. It's again, Neil Druckmann's still executive producing, and Craig Mazin, I don't know.
The Druckster.
The Chernobyl writer is.
Oh, nice. That's cool. Chernobyl is really good.
Yeah, so it's really good.
And we know how much people love Neil Druckmann. I mean, they just shout his praises from the rooftops.
Yeah, she's 14 in the first game right there.
14.
Us. So yeah, it'll be cool. I'm very excited just because.
Yeah, definitely.
It's got talented people behind it now, and we already know that the story works, and it's mostly a cinematic thing anyway. They could tell a compelling story, even though I do feel like The Last of Us story is good, but I still stand by that I don't think it's like super groundbreaking. It's just really solid. Yeah. It's every point they hit, they do well, but it's not crazy. It's just good. So I wonder if that might not translate as well to an actual just TV show.
Is the show like the game? Is it like the story of the game?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Joel smuggling Ellie.
Interesting.
So yeah, it'll be cool. I imagine that it's going to be that, but probably not much else exactly the same, right? Like I would be surprised if Tess was like a big deal, or if
she'd be in like the first episode and that's it.
Right, exactly. I'd be surprised if they really did beat by beat by beat. I imagine it'd be like Joel smuggles Ellie out of the city to the Fireflies, and everything else is kind of,
So you think they might switch it up? Like we might not meet the I can't remember their name, the brothers.
Yeah, I would be surprised if they really kept that strict to it, because at that point it's like, what's the point?
Every episode would just be like a mission, like The Mandalorian, which is why I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. They could kind of mix it up. That'd be cool. I hope the makeup is cool.
Yeah. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Nice.
Starts production on season 4. I'm still meaning to watch the show at some point. It's good. Whenever I see it on, I'm enjoying it. It's
nice to look at.
Yeah, so I'd love to actually get into it eventually.
Yeah, me too.
But that's good.
Cool. Season 4. I wish they do a season 3 of Fleabag, but that's not ever going to happen, so that's okay.
Well, the good news is, who needs Fleabag when you have Dragon Bag? American Dragon, Jake Long, finally.
Oh, fine. Everyone's been asking.
Finally coming to Disney Plus. I don't even know what this is. What?
I don't know what American Dragon Jake Long is. The guy looks familiar, but I don't.
It was an old Disney show. I
didn't watch.
Oh, weird. I brought this up expecting you would know more about it than me, because you were more of a Disney kid than I was. I was more of a crying alone.
Oh, that's sad.
No. It was like a Disney show where he turned into a dragon. It was like Danny Phantom, except instead of going ghost, he went
Love
going
Danny
scaly.
Phantom. See, I was a big Danny Phantom guy.
Right, exactly. I was a Danny Phantom guy. It seemed like these two were kind of almost button heads a little bit. Because,
yeah, Jake Long. He looks familiar, but I don't think I ever watched
he turned
the show.
into this. He was a big red dragon with like a green
Nice.
mane and stuff. It was cool. He could breathe fire. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
It was only 2005, 2007, but they ran reruns all the time. That's what I remember the most. It was always on. I would always just kind of go over it.
Yeah.
Back when I actually like flipped through channels, which feels so long ago.
Yeah, right.
It really does. But that's it. That's it for news.
News.
I don't got more than that.
Nice.
So you know what that means. We're here. We've made it.
I am the spy.
I'm the guy.
I'm the guy.
Cake. Okay, we have to actually talk about. Okay,
no.
Spy Kids.
Spy Kids. Do-do-do-do.
Robert Rodriguez.
Rob Rog.
Written
That's
and
what I like to
directed.
call him.
Oh yeah,
Rob
nice.
Rog.
Does he like when you call him that?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Rob Rog, legendary filmmaker.
Yes. Spy Kids 1 through 4. I mean, he's just on top of all of them.
Did all of them.
Yeah.
Bam, 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 bam.
Bam, bam, bam. Well, not bam, bam, bam.
All
Bam.
the time. Bam, bam, bam. All the time in the world. Then the fourth one.
Yes, exactly.
That was funny.
So
the fourth one was funny.
yes. Let's start with Spy Kids 1.
Of course, we got to go in order.
We got to go in a chronological order.
So here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
Spy Kids, in terms of like audience reaction
Okay.
on IMDb at least, and I'm sure probably most other things, the ratings progressively get lower. Like the first Spy Kids actually has like good reviews, like good, and then Spy Kids 2 a little lower, Spy Kids 3 like really bad, which I'll get into that because Spy Kids 3 rocks.
Yeah.
And then Spy Kids 4, which is terrible. It's like the
Is
bottom
the
of
lowest,
the barrel.
Yeah.
So interesting. We're starting off with what people say is the best one. I will argue,
Okay.
but this movie kind of rocks still.
No, it does, definitely.
It was weird because I rewatched all of them. Did you rewatch all
Yes,
of them?
of
Okay,
course.
yeah. Okay. Literally, they're all exactly how I remembered them.
They are.
Exactly. I was
Nothing's
like, yes, I remember
changed.
this. And, and I was like,
There wasn't one scene where I was like, I don't remember that.
Yep.
You know,
it was all I was like, yes,
all there.
exactly.
So it was
It
very
was
good.
awesome.
I even found myself saying some of the lines again as I watched them, even though I haven't seen the movies in like 7 years.
Yes, exactly.
It's very, very effective.
Yeah, and they're still funny.
No. You know.
And there's just, I don't know, the style of them and like, just like, it just seems like everyone was just having a lot of fun making these.
Yeah.
And they have all those, like, the floops
Mm-hmm.
were like, it low-key really dark that they're like turning these people into like these like demon creatures and making
mutants.
them like dance on their show.
Yeah. They're
That
fun.
kids watch. It's like so messed up.
Yeah.
Floop is a madman. Help us, save us.
Anyway, why don't we start right from the beginning? Carmen and Juni Cortez.
What's her full name?
Carmen
Cortez.
Cortez is her full name. I think I got the pronunciation. Yeah, I think I got it right.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Thank you. Gracias.
De nada.
Huh?
See.
That's the guy in the fourth. De nada. When you rearrange his... Anyway.
It spells Armageddon.
We're getting so off track. We need to get back on the rails. Spy Kids, Carmen and Juni Cortez are the kids of Gregorio and Ingrid Cortez.
Wow, that was good.
That was
callback.
Yeah.
Wow, I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known that. I knew Gregorio, but
Yeah.
Ingrid, I was like, oh.
And well, don't tell me the grandparents because I have no idea.
Grandpa and Grandma.
Grandpa and grandma, exactly. They are the kids of two spies, but they don't know it. They were two spies. They were the best spies in the business, and they had orders to take each other out.
They
But
did.
Instead, they fell in love, and they got out of the
classic.
game, and they got married, and they had an even more dangerous mission.
Marriage.
Parenthood.
Parenthood.
And parenthood, yeah.
Wait, what? What's the movie where it's like, this is off topic, but it's like
Okay.
a movie where it's like, and then we got to the worst part of it, parenthood, and then the like hard cuts. It's like It's like a funny movie.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. Keep thinking about it.
Okay.
Anyway, they're just two kids who are just kind of bored. And they're like, why do we have to pee every morning? Or why do we have to climb the jungle gym every morning and stuff like that?
It's The Lion King 1.5.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
You
I
got
just remembered.
you got it.
Okay, continue.
They find out that their parents are spies because they're going back on another mission. So they have to leave and the kids are in danger. So now it's up to them to save their spy parents by becoming
Spy Kids.
spy kids.
Spy Kids.
Which I actually always forget that the Spy Kids is the name of the evil robots, not just what they call themselves, even though they eventually do. The Spy Kids is the name of the evil children.
Yes.
Anyway, so they do it. They have a bunch of weird stuff. There's a bunch of gadgets and stuff that they mess with. They get to this place where the kids show that Juni watched. He's like the mastermind behind it, sort of.
Floop.
And they get to his castle. His parents are there. They save them. And that's the end. They get the third brain. This sounds like absolute nonsense. These movies are so hard to explain just because there's so much going on.
It's so crazy.
If this is the first movie. The second movie, I don't even know how we'll explain that.
It's great.
They got to go find their parents. They do. They save the day. They stop the robots. And they turn them good. And the bad guys get what's coming to them. That's all you need to know.
Yep. And George Clooney is the president of the United States.
No, he's not. Not
Yes,
in the
he
first
is.
movie.
Yeah.
He only becomes president in the second movie, I think.
No, because at the end of the first one, he calls him, and he's got the black bar over his eyes, and he like takes it off.
Yeah, but I thought he didn't become
Puts it back
president
on.
until the second one. Because
He's
remember
president.
No, because the president's daughter is in the second movie, remember?
Yeah.
And it's not Devlin. He doesn't become president until the end of the second
No,
movie.
because he just didn't want to be in the second one. We'll have to get into the casting issues, but then he's president in the third one again.
Exactly.
But he's president in the first one.
No, he was just head of the OSS in the first one.
Wrong.
You're wrong.
No, he's president.
He's head of the OSS, and then the third one because he's like, I wanted to be president because I wanted people to know I was in charge of things now. That's what he says.
I don't know.
But it's easy to mistake because it's all the same exact shot.
Yeah,
the
either
whole
way, it's
time.
hilarious.
Yeah.
When he takes the bar off.
That is a hilarious joke, yeah.
It's good stuff.
The movies, okay. Should we talk about the like serious stuff that's good about it or just the stuff we enjoy about it first?
The serious stuff.
The serious stuff, I think the movie honestly has a lot of heart to it.
Yeah, for sure.
It captures the brother-sister rivalry
Mm.
and the whole idea of struggling with family, but you still love each other at the end of the day kind of deal. I feel like it accomplishes that very well for the first movie, you know? I also am so glad that a movie like this exists where the whole family, it is a Latino family, you know? And it's just normal. Like, you know what I mean? There's no huge... Like, he gets picked on at school for, like, one scene, right? But it's not...
Funny scene.
Yeah, a funny scene. But it's just a normal American family, like, you know what I mean? And it's... I just am really appreciative of that to have existed all the way back in, like, 2001. You know, I think that's really cool for just how...
It's Rob Rog, man. That's what he brings to the table.
Right, exactly. And I appreciate that. I really do. Because it's not something that I even think of when I was a kid. But looking back, I can actually remember being like, oh, Spanish. Like, you know what I mean?
Espanol.
I was like, that exists, right? You know, it was kind of just a good view for children to have. This is a family that's just like yours, except a little bit different.
Exactly.
Know? I think that's cool.
It is cool.
I also think that the sets, like
Yes.
the Floop's Castle, is amazing.
They're awesome.
It's really, really cool and just imaginative, colorful, enough to really keep a kid's attention, I would hope.
The editing style is
style,
really
yeah.
funny and clever, I think.
Having a lot of fun with the editing, not taking itself too seriously at all.
Yeah, using a lot of like funny noises and stuff. And
Yeah. The acting is oftentimes very physical and seeing a lot of, you know, exaggerated kind of motions or faces, you know, just kind of add.
Antonio Banderas is like really funny.
Exactly. He's very funny in the first movie, especially because he's in it.
Yeah, the other ones he's not in it too much.
Yeah.
He's funny in the third one when he's in it. I think his scene's really funny.
His scene at the end is very, very funny. And the mom as well. They're both...
Ingrid.
Yes. Carla something.
Ooh, I don't know the actress.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But she is very good. because she's the first parent you see. So she
Spy mom. She got the glasses. Spy mom.
Spy mom. Floop is also a highlight of the film. The main villain at first. Just a great.
Then he becomes a good guy. Greatest redemption story.
It really is one of the best
history.
redemptions. And Minion, of course, taking over, becoming the real guy, being a little bit threatening. If I had to say, okay, so there's a lot of talks that people do. They talk about like the difference between like kids movies and like family movies. I want to say kind of.
Okay.
Where you'd say a kids movie is something like, why can't I don't know, The Nut Job, the Emoji Movie, like stuff that
Boss Baby,
right? Maybe, I don't know. That was an Oscar winner, so who knows?
Oh my gosh, that happened.
But kids movies where it's like this is made for kids. There's not really any substance here, blah blah blah. But then you have like a family movie where it's like, oh, the parents can enjoy it too and stuff like that.
Spy Kids is that movie.
You would think like The Goonies and stuff would be like a quintessential.
Yeah,
the whole family can have fun.
Monster House.
Sure. Yeah. Maybe. Probably. Yeah. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it was very good. Spy Kids, I think, is the one that teeters the line the most between a kids movie and a family movie. But I think the first one jumps over into family movie terms. We can get to the next three a little bit later and how I feel about that. But I feel like the first one lands firmly in good enough to be a family movie. And again, guys, we're biased. These are very precious movies from our childhood.
Literally, like we were the perfect age when these movies came
exactly.
out.
So like we were the target audience. When you see the little robot kids flying and stuff, like we were that age. Like
yes,
that was us. So biased, but still, I think it lands that anybody can have some sort of enjoyment from watching the first movie. That's what I think.
Love Spy Kids 1.
Spy Kids 1 is good. The one thing that I've seen people complain about, and whatever, is that the sense of danger isn't like really there. And I don't know if I necessarily even agree with that. I feel like the sense of danger is there. It's just not.
Who's gonna have an army of kids?
Right, exactly. But I don't know what they want exactly. I guess the sense of danger was a little more subtle than anything. Like there wasn't like a big pendulum swinging to like cut open their guts or anything, so it like wasn't enough. But I mean, really, the violence in the movie, there isn't that much really.
There's a couple punches.
Someone gets thrown through a window.
Yeah. Played for comedy.
People get not electrocuted, but they get shocked and stunned a lot.
A lot of zappy gum.
A lot of
just
zappy
like at
gum.
the beginning.
But other than that, like it makes me think of the end where the parents are surrounded by the goons and they're like, "Hey, close your eyes. I don't want you to see this." And you just hear a bunch of punching noises and then everybody's on the floor.
Yeah.
Which I think is a funny scene.
It is funny.
But not too much actual action happening generally of like fighting, which I think is perfectly fine for a movie like this.
Yeah.
One thing I've noticed in these movies is that there always seems to be at least one moment where there is like a punch or an impact or something that is like way more impactful than anything else in the film. And in the first one, it's when they're escaping from the safe house and like a jetpack like hits a guy in the face and he does like a full backflip like into a table and he just goes down. Like it's bam.
The stunt guys, man.
And it's like, it's impactful. Like I was like, damn, this is... Like before, it's like, oh, they fall over, they tumble, but this guy was out. Like he was dead. I just noticed that there's always like one hit in each movie that's like, oh, is he okay? Yeah. But otherwise, they keep it kind of, low key. Which, if you're giving it for kids, I guess that's kind of the intent, maybe. The gadgets in the first movie, we have the electroshock gum, right? We got the spinny things that who knows what they do, but they're heavy.
Yep.
You have the world's tiniest cameras.
Yep.
And then you have a smartwatch. Just a normal smartwatch, which was very funny watching in retrospect because he's like, it's this kind of chunky thing. He's like, this thing's got GPS and live TV and a microphone and a cell phone and everything. And it's like, it's all on my wrist. It's like, but it doesn't tell time. Everyone's about like, oh, the Simpsons predicted smartwatches. Spy Kids.
Hello?
Spy Kids predicted smartwatches too, okay?
Yeah.
Just saying. I just think it's funny going back in time.
It is funny.
This great spy gadget that could never exist. You can pick one up for like not even that much.
Yeah.
It's good. Machete's cool.
Machete.
Machete. That's not right. What other inventions are there? They have obviously all their ships and stuff. The jetpacks.
The plane. The fastest plane.
The packet foods that you put in the microwave that turn into
those
meals. When I was a kid,
I was like, what?
I was obsessed with that machine.
And it's McDonald's.
Yeah, it's literally McDonald's. I think that helped as a kid. I was like, oh my gosh, I can get McDonald's
the second movie too.
in a microwave and just have it. I was obsessed with that.
Yeah,
machine.
they just put it in the microwave and it just becomes a burger and fries. I was like,
oh
no.
That's crazy. What other? They have their little zip line things, I guess. Oh, acid crayon.
The acid crayon.
That was a very cool
one,
I thought. A lot of cool gadgets.
That part's funny because Floop is like has the keys and he's opening the door and then she acid crayons the things and then she comes out and then he opens the door and he's just like, what?
What are you doing? Yeah. I just want to point out all the gadgets in the first one.
Yeah.
Because it is something that kind of goes away a little bit later on, which I think we could move on now to Spy Kids 2.
What a great film. Love Spy Kids 2.
Spy Kids 2, I still like it. But if I had to do the tier list right now, if you want,
it's my least favorite of the OG trilogy.
Okay, good.
But it's still awesome.
Yeah, it is third in line regardless. I really think for most people, it's 1 and 3 and then it's 2 and then 4 at the bottom. You know?
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Maybe our age.
What do you mean?
Well, 3 has like really bad reviews.
That's true. I guess, yeah.
It does.
Like, no, really I looked because I had to do my review of the week. I was looking all over the place. They're not, because they're worse than 2, even though people seem to like 2.
So Spy Kids 3 has a 4.3 out of 10.
And you gave it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah? What do you mean?
Anyway,
we're talking about Spy Kids 2
right now. Yeah. Spy Kids 2. Why don't you take this one?
So Spy Kids 2.
The whole family is spies.
They're all spies. Yeah. There's the Spy Kids thing is a whole thing now.
Yeah.
Lots of Spy Kids. We're at an amusement park with Dinky Winks. He's showing the president's daughter around. He's showing her all the rides, and she's like not impressed by any of them when they're all absolutely ridiculous. And then he's like, but this is the new one. It's called the Juggler. Yeah. And she's like, it goes up real high, and then like the ball spins, and then the thing spins, and then she's like, and then it juggles you, and she's like, whoa, I want to go on.
Yeah.
So she gets on, but she sabotages the ride. And she literally walks out on the thing like she's going to freaking kill herself.
And she's like, I want my dad up here to save me.
Yeah.
The president, because he's too busy to spend time with me because he's the president.
Yeah. And she stole the transmooker device.
Yes. It's very important.
And then so they're like calling agents.
S1 and S2.
S1 and S2. And it's Carmen and Juni. And they come in. And he's like, look, latest gear. And they have like finger things. And they climb up.
Like in Spider-Man climb the walls.
They climb up the thing. And then while they're climbing up the thing, they see. And then this is when the classic meme happens. Where the glasses come out and like zoom in. When the two kids...
Gary and Gertie giggles.
Gary and Gertie giggles, yes. I almost forgot. Yeah, he's got the laugh.
That was really good.
You think?
Oh my god. That was so good.
Thank you.
Wow, I'm impressed.
What can I say?
Gary.
Yeah, I know. Here I am.
They get there. They take the transmooker device, and Juni takes the president's daughter.
They have like jetpack feet.
Yeah.
They just like fly by them. I'm just like... They just said they had the latest tech, man.
Yeah. Latest tech, my shiitake mushrooms.
They get the transmooker, and he's like trying to get the president's daughter down. She's like, I don't want to go down. And then Juni's like, let me handle it. I'm a smooth with the ladies.
Yeah.
And then he handles it, and whatever, they save the president's daughter. Yay. And then this next part is one thing that I don't know why. It's like one of the moments from like the movies that like always stuck in my mind. They're getting ready for this big party. It's not a party. It's like a thing. Anyway, they're going to announce the new director of the OSS.
Yes.
So they're all there or whatever, and they're getting ready, and the dad, Gregorio, is like combing Juni's hair back.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why I always remember this, but he's finished like combing his hair all the way back, and he's like, and now for the finishing touch. And he like grabs it and he goes, ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know why I always remember that. And I remember when I was a kid, back when I used to gel my hair, I would gel it and then I would go like every time.
Nice.
So yeah, they go there. Turns out it's not. Gregorio thought that he was going to be the next dude, and so did the teleprompter.
Yes.
Until it's not. It's Donegan Giggles. No. So he's the new director of the OSS, and then bam! Oh my gosh, they're attacked by the Magnet Men.
Yeah, and they drugged the champagne, so all the adults are passed out, and it's up to the Spy Kids to.
Spy Kids got to fight them.
But there's infighting amongst the Spy Kids, so the
Juni
bad guys get away.
And Gary are freaking too busy with their testosterone battle.
Yeah.
And then they get the transmuker device, and the bad guys get away. And then everyone's like, it's Juni's fault.
For some reason, you know it's not his fault.
And then everyone's like, oh, Juni, we hate you.
Yeah.
And then he gets kicked out of the Spy Kids thing.
Yeah.
He's no longer a member of the OSS. OMG.
That's
what?
the beginning of the movie. He's out.
Crazy.
He's been a spy for like a year.
Yeah. So then they're like, they send Gary and Gertie to, because they're the children of Donegan Giggles.
So
who's
now
the leader.
they're like the #1 Spy Kids now. They're
Yeah.
level 1.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, we're sending you on the mission to go recover the transmuker device. And then Carmen's like, well, we have to go too, Juni. And Juni's like, I'm not in that life anymore.
But Carmen, the master hacker that she is, hacks him back into the OSS, and they take the mission to the Takata Island. Yeah.
Also, and then they're there, and they're like, it's the island time, and they like swoop in, and they get the blow up thingies. I don't know why I always remember that. And then they have like the demon creature,
the Leviathan type thing.
Yeah.
In the water. And they get to shore, and it's got an EMP field, no electronics, no gadgets.
Nothing works.
On things. So they got to use their brains more.
Mm.
And this is something in the movie where I always thought, it takes away from it like a little bit. I thought that the Spy Kids couldn't do the cool gadgets for most of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, is it really a spy movie anymore? It's kind of just a adventure kids. Like, you know?
Literally.
But we can get even more into that in the third one, but we'll get there.
And then into the first ripoff. Well, this movie's not ripping off another movie by the name of Avengers Infinity War. This is the first thing that Marvel rips from Spy Kids. Juni and Carmen fall into the volcano.
Mm-hmm.
And they are falling for a very, very, very long time. Now, if you remember, in Avengers Infinity War, which I like, I think that is a great movie.
This is a good movie.
I'm just saying. There's a part where Doctor Strange puts Loki into a portal, and then he takes him out of the portal, and Loki's like, I have been falling for 30 minutes, which is a complete ripoff of this movie scene where they're falling for like 2 hours.
Yeah, it was a while.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Robert Rodriguez.
And then they meet Steve Buscemi, who was an incredible performance
as Romero.
I mean, just amazing.
Yeah, he's a crazy scientist who came to this island to do like genetic experiments on animals. He wanted to make kids' toys. So, of course, he goes to an island and experiments with animals.
Yep.
And he's got like a tiny zoo that he makes, and he started splicing the DNA together of the different animals. But he added a growth serum, so now the animals are super huge. So there's like a spider monkey that's half spider, half monkey. There's
really?
A lizard that's half snake, half lizard, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what they call
There's a flying pig, a spork. I think it's a
spork. I think he calls him Sporky. That's in the third one, though.
Oh, yeah. What else is there? I mean, it's a lizard and the spider monkey are like the two
those
ones.
are the two
a bullfrog. I saw there's a bullfrog.
Yeah.
Horsefly. It's got a fly head and horse body.
Nice.
There's a lot of good ones in there. There's good ones.
And he delivers maybe maybe the greatest single line in the history of cinema.
Yeah, not just Spy Kids movies, all movies.
He says, he like gets close to the camera and he's like, do you think God stays in heaven because he too is in fear of what he's created? Something along the lines of that. And when I was a kid,
Don't look at me like that. I'm no loon.
when I was a kid, I was like, whoa.
It's a lot for a kid.
My mind has been open. It's like the
digest.
whole galaxy exploded in my head.
Yeah, and then Carmen's just like, whatever, listen. Like, she literally is just like, okay, where's the transmuter device? Because it's on the island now, because he created it to hide his island so people wouldn't find his ideas and steal them. But that's what everyone's into, because it can totally shut down everything and
It shut down all power.
destroy the world. You'd have control of the world if you could control all the power, you know? And that's what Donegan Giggles is after.
He's the bad guy.
Donegan Giggles was behind it all, and he's the bad guy. And Gary and Gertie are like, maybe, okay. They don't like Gary's weird. I don't like Gary.
Yeah, but Gertie, she cool.
Gertie's cool. What is her name?
It's Emily Osment.
Emily Osment. Yeah.
Crazy.
I was thinking, freaking Olsen because of WandaVision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emily Osment. She's great. She's got the little pigtails.
Crazy that's her.
It's very, very cool.
What happens next?
Well, then they have to get there. So
Yeah.
they take the Magnet Men ships. They fly there. They go to the underwater cave, and that's when they find they gain telepathy powers.
Yeah, that part's crazy. I always thought this part was crazy.
I don't get it. I still don't get it. The thing with this movie is that there's so much happening in this movie. So much goes on. They get the telepathy powers, and then he steals a necklace, and then the undead come to life, and then they fight the undead.
They fight skeletons.
Yeah, undead skeletons.
Yeah, but skeletons.
Right. They fight the skeletons with sword, like they're like pirate. Right, they're pirates, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they got like cutlasses and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Carmen gets taken by the pig, goes in the nest with Gertie, which is such a stupid name.
You too.
And then what does Juni do after that? That's when he gets the spider monkey and he fights Gary right after that?
Yeah, then they have their battle.
Yeah, they have their battle. Spider monkey is way cooler than the lizard.
Way cooler.
He's got the staff and
yeah,
everything.
and it ain't even close.
And he gets a little tiny spider monkey that sadly doesn't really get to do much ever again, which I always thought was lame. But that's fine, whatever. Because he does show up again, but not very much. And then they go to get the transmuter device. Donegan reveals that everyone's like, "Oh yeah, he's behind it."
Yeah, and everyone's there now, basically.
Because the parents got found out because Donegan wanted to send them there so he could take out all the Cortezes at the same time.
Yeah, and that's we get introduced to the grandma and the grandpa.
Grandma and
too.
grandpa are also there. They don't really do much, but they are there. They talk and they're like, "We hate our son-in-law."
Yeah, and then my favorite scene in the movie is when Gregorio and Donegan have their fight.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hilarious
because they both, even though Gregorio's, and they're both supposed to be like super well-trained spy fighters. They're so awful at
They have the
fighting.
most pitiful fight.
Yeah,
it's
very
hilarious.
sad to watch, but it is funny.
And they're all watching, like, ooh,
Like, oh, no.
My favorite is when they're like all like screaming at him to tell him what to do, and the wife is like, she's like, do that thing that I taught you. Oh, suplex.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he just like picks them up, and they just kind of fall like off the thing. It's so good.
I like the do the triple backflip, and he does a super athletic triple backflip, and then when he lands, he just gets like punched in the face at the end. It's like, okay.
Great stuff.
It's a good little fight. But at the end of the day, he tries to use the transmuter device on the grandparents. Gregorio jumps in front of the way.
To sacrifice himself.
But it breaks because Gertie
sabotaged it.
And then they're like, Donegan Giggles,
You're bad.
We're gonna tell your wife. And he's like, anything but that. Don't tell my wife that I was trying to take over the world. Who we find out who she is later.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that. Crazy.
And then
Lucky man.
The movie ends. And does Juni actually leave at the end?
No, I don't think so.
Not at the end yet. Okay, yeah. But Gregorio becomes the director of the OSS. The awesome. Whatever. And it's all good. And then another movie happens.
Yeah. The best movie ever made. Ever.
Maybe.
Spy Kids 3D game over.
Oh,
Frick yes, this movie rocks. It rules. It's fantastic. I love it.
So the movie came out in like 2003. I think the movies came out 2001, 2002, 2003. That's honestly kind of impressive.
He was killing it.
Yeah.
Rob was going nuts.
The thing I want to say about the second movie, though, I should mention it. First movie, mostly sets, like mostly physical sets. Second movie,
green screen heaven.
Like 70% green screen, probably. Spy Kids 3, 90% completely.
Which works to its advantage.
It does. I agree. 90% completely, totally computer generated.
Now,
I would say like 70% is literally people with a completely fake set. Not even a single object is real except for their clothes and themselves.
I will say, I don't want to be over dramatic here or anything, but I would argue that this movie is a cornerstone and is possibly one of the most influential films of the 21st century.
Possibly.
Now, we will get into this as we summarize the plot of the film. I will bring up multiple examples of things that were just stolen.
Yeah.
In later films.
So at the beginning, Juni's left the OSS. He's now a private eye.
Yep, he does everything on his own. He's in the water park.
He charges like what, $4.99 a case, $4.99 to take on new cases. And
wait, I have a. This
Okay.
was crazy.
Okay.
This is a crazy fun fact that I never knew until just when in the beginning when he's at the water park and there's the girl.
Yes.
That is Selena Gomez.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
I guess it does. It did kind of. She's very young.
It's
Wow.
Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez. Jeez. Okay.
Amazing.
That's amazing. That makes that movie a lot better.
It is amazing.
For that one line that she says. What's she say? Like, who owns the water park or whatever she says? I don't know.
It's amazing. It's Selena Gomez.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yes.
He's left the OSS.
Yes.
We never mentioned Ralph.
Oh yes, Ralph. His little robot buddy.
How terribly underutilized is Ralph?
Well, he gets busted in the second movie, like
it's
right at
sad.
the beginning.
He never really gets to become a real character. I always thought that was pretty sad.
Rest in peace, Ralph.
Because he was a good gadget boy. But he fights Spider Monkey at the beginning, and Devlin comes back.
George Clooney.
He's the president.
The POTUS.
For sure now.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's like, we need you back in the OSS. You were best agent. He's like, I'm out of the game. I'm retired. I'm done with it. He's like, well, here's a reality check. Your sister has gone missing.
No.
Carmen's stuck in a video game.
That Juni tried to buy, but he
Earlier,
didn't because he
yes.
tripped and fell and broke his piggy bank.
When he was going to give it to charity because he's a good guy. But now he still had the money, so I don't know what happened to it. Maybe he just let it fly away and didn't care.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's
Goes
like,
to the OSS.
all right, I guess I got to save my sister because she's pretty important to me.
He finds out. He gets to the OSS. Donegan Giggles
is back.
He's back.
Just Donegan Giggles is like Orochimaru. Like everyone's just kind of like, you know what?
Literally though,
it's okay.
Yeah, and he's like, Donegan, been a good boy lately.
Yeah, that's the line. It's like, I heard your wife straightened you out, and then you see a not tall, but you see a woman. I just say tall because the rest of the people are children, so everybody looks tall.
Yeah.
Who's got the pigtails like Gertie, even though they both have brown hair and their children are blonde, which can happen, but very rare.
It's Salma Hayek.
Salma Hayek.
What? Crazy casting.
Crazy casting.
That's not
She's
even
there.
the best part yet.
Francesca Giggles, I believe.
I mean, and she's great. Wow.
She's great. Wow.
Fantastic. She gives him the rundown. Carmen is stuck in the game. She went into the game to shut down the game because the toy maker, the guy who made the game,
Sylvester Stallone.
which I'm being serious here. They didn't even think about an Oscar nomination. I mean, I'm serious.
is probably the best performance.
He plays 4 characters.
Well, he actually did win an award for this.
What?
A Razzie.
That's ridiculous. I think that's ridiculous because I think he is hilarious.
I think there's one person in this movie who did a even better job than him,
No.
and that's George Clooney.
There's
At
no
the
way.
end of the movie, when he's like, doing the George. He's just George Clooney. And he's like, I've come to think. This is my time to be a.
That's a good scene.
And he does the Stallone
yes, he
impersonation.
does. Yes,
that was very good. And then
Stallone, he plays Toymaker.
Yes,
which is basically Sylvester Stallone.
Yes.
Then he plays like a hippie Toymaker.
A hippie love child boy.
Then he plays like British soldier.
No, German
soldier.
World War I German soldier.
Sylvester Stallone. And then he has smart scientist.
Yes.
Sylvester Stallone.
And then he has newscaster Stallone at the beginning.
Yes. So like he's playing 4 characters and they're all funny. Mm-hmm. He's in a room. He's in a giant green room.
He programmed them all by himself. Sylvester Stallone did, not the Toymaker.
And he has to act by himself. Green screens all around him. He's completely alone in a giant nothingness.
Talking to 3 different characters
that don't exist at the time.
For each character, talking to 3 different characters.
Yeah, to himself.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
And it's totally convincing.
Yeah, it's very well done.
I think it's incredible in whatever nonsense that he won a Razzie. It's stupid.
I thought he did a good job.
You know what? If I was him, I would put that Razzie on top of everything.
Yeah,
it'd be at the tippy top.
Anyway, Juni goes into the game.
He goes into the game.
He becomes a gamer at long last.
He finally becomes a gamer.
Oh, wait, hold on. Can I say something first, though?
Yeah.
So when they're explaining the game, they say something like, when kids reach the final level, they'll be brainwashed and parents will never be able to get their attention.
Right, yeah, they're stuck in the game forever.
Juni goes like, what's new? Whatever. It's like, haha. Then Donegan Giggles says a quote. And I know this quote. Do you know what the quote is? He says, the Toymaker wants to brainwash all the children on the earth. Because when you control the youth, you control the future.
Yeah.
Can you Google that for me really quick?
What do you want me to Google?
When you control the youth, you control the future. Just really fast. I just want you to Google that and just see what pops up. Because I don't think it'll be Spy Kids 3.
Oh.
What do you see?
What? What? It's Hitler.
It's a quote that Hitler has said. It's not his quote, I don't think, but very famously attributed to Hitler in the Spy Kids 3 movie.
He said, "He alone who owns the youth gains the future."
So,
wow,
just a fun little tidbit that kind of. I was like, that's interesting.
That's amazing
phrase. And he's a German soldier in one of his personalities.
No, that's Stallone.
Yeah, I know, but he's talking about Stallone wants to control the youth.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I thought you meant Donegan.
I'm just saying.
Wow, I didn't think about that.
Me neither. And well, because he was like imprisoned, and then at the end of the movie, they actually say he's fine, and that happened to Hitler, but after they let him out and said everything's fine, that's when he became a dictator and did the Hitler things.
So anyway, Carmen is stuck on level 4 of the game. There's 5 levels in the game.
She's on level 4.
She's on level 4. Level 5 is notoriously unwinnable.
Yeah.
But the only way to shut down the game is to beat level 5, shut down the game.
Yeah.
Anyway, Juni comes in. He's at level 1, obviously. Level 1, like a funky town area.
It's like Toontown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. They didn't do We Are Number 1, though.
That's Lazy Town.
Oh, damn it. What's wrong with me? I'm such an idiot.
Toontown was like the web game that was like a MMO, but it was like cartoons.
Dang it.
Anyway.
I feel like an idiot.
That's okay.
He's chilling. He's like, whoa, I'm in a game. This is crazy.
And then all of a sudden he's attacked by a mob of
Pogo Toads.
Thank you. I was going to say frogs, but I was like, that's not right. Pogo Toads. He gets... Okay, well, should we talk about the ripoffs then first?
Let's go. You have one already?
We're at the first ripoff. He meets the beta testers. Now, where have you heard that in the future after that?
Beta testers.
That's the exact plot line of Sword Art Online.
Well, see, I've never seen that. So.
Well, okay. Well, that's what happens. Sword Art Online.
Boom.
There's a really powerful guys. They're like, what is he? And they're like, he was a beta tester. And everyone's like, oh my gosh.
See?
But
boom.
They say it in
That's
Japanese.
one thing already.
One thing already. And I mean, also the whole idea of just, going into a video game.
Literally.
Just saying.
Let us continue. He meets them. thinks that, well, he doesn't like really think that they're super nice, but he's like thinking maybe, oh, they'll help me, but nah, he's like, here, look, I'll show you what to do, and he like kicks him off the pogo, and he falls and he loses some life. You have 9 lives.
Yeah.
And then Sylvester Stallone orb thing is like, you have 9 lives, and if you lose all the 9 lives, it's game over.
Yeah, which is no good.
And then he sends Juni back to the top.
Mm-hmm. And then they're like, oh, just hit on this target and you'll go to the next level.
To the moon.
Send him to the moon, which he does go.
So he goes to the moon, and they're like, idiot.
Yeah.
We won't see him again.
So the OSS is like, okay, Juni, we didn't know you were such a noob. They don't say that, but they should have. I think it was before noob, honestly.
Literally.
So you get 1 lifeline. You can pick 1 person to come into the game with you. And so you've got his mom, you've got his dad, you have grandma, and you have grandpa. And they go through the pros and cons. And grandpa's like the smartest one. He's a super smart dude, but he's in a wheelchair, right? That's his deal. So Juni's like, okay, grandpa. And he comes into the game, and he's still in a wheelchair. Because Juni's whole thing, when he said that, was like, oh, I'll see grandpa. He doesn't have to be paralyzed because it's a video game. But then he's still paralyzed when he does get into the game originally, and he just happens to find a Mega Legs upgrade pack to give to his grandfather, which gives him a super badass like robo
awesome suit. He can run, he can jump.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. He's like, Grandpa, you can walk. I can do much more than that, Juni. Right.
And then he chases a butterfly.
Yes, because he knows that the toy maker is watching.
Right, yes.
So Juni's like, okay, my grandpa just left. All right, I guess I'll walk in a different direction. And he goes to the arena. And at the arena, they're having... We'll talk about the ripoff. What's the next ripoff?
Real Steel? Hello? Have you heard of Real... I love Real Steel.
With a little bit of Pacific Rim, anybody?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I was thinking Real Steel.
Yeah.
That's 2. We're up to like, what, 3 ripoffs already? Maybe 4.
Yeah.
Here we go. I mean, they have an epic battle.
They have an epic battle. It's him against
Demetra.
A girl.
A gamer girl.
Oh my gosh. A gamer girl in this game.
Listen, though, for real, though, when this movie first came out, I was in love with Demetra. I was like, whoa.
How about now?
I mean...
Anyway, yeah, so she's got the purple. Juni's got the yellow outfit. She's got the purple outfit. So they're nice, like, clashing
That's
colors.
when Juni gets his suit, too.
Yeah, he gets his power armor.
Yeah.
And they have an epic battle.
Crazy stuff.
They both take out, like, 3 lives of each other, but Juni ends up the victor.
But he does this run spinny move to make him
and
dizzy.
I think now's a good time to mention, because we've kind of been glossing over it. This was... The title of the movie is Spy Kids 3D Game Over.
Yes.
This movie, tell me if I'm being a little wrong here. I want to say every 5 minutes, 3 minutes, there's something popping out at the screen.
It's awesome.
It's nonstop.
In the theater, it was so cool because that was back when 3D was like actually 3D.
And it was like red and blue.
Yeah, you had like... But I remember at the Spy Kids one, they had like the glasses they wear for the game.
Looked like the glasses they had, yeah.
And then like, I mean, stuff would be like really coming out like it used to be. That was back when it was awesome.
Non-stop, always.
I loved it.
It's very fun. So yeah, when they're fighting, there's nuts and bolts flying towards the screen.
Everywhere.
With each punch, you know. He wins. He gets sent back to level 2.
Sent on to
level 2, yes, but it's back on Earth.
And, level 2, best level.
You think? Probably.
Level 4 is pretty cool.
I like level, yeah.
But level 2, we're getting to another ripoff.
Which one?
The rate.
No, but like which? What are you thinking?
Ready Player One.
Oh, I've never seen Ready Player One, but okay.
It's like Ready Player One. Whoever the writer is of Ready Player One, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And Steven Spielberg, he's at fault too.
Ernest Cline was who wrote the book, I think.
Yes. So he stole it.
Even though couldn't it technically have been a Spy Kids 3D? Like, couldn't it literally have been the Game Over game in Ready Player One? technically.
I guess it would have been revised a little bit, but it's like he just took it. He's like watching Spy Kids 3, and he's like, this would be great in my book.
And he added it to his book.
Exactly. I mean,
but that's how he made the whole book. That's how he made the entire book. He's like, this would be great in my book, and he just wrote down a bunch of things.
You're right, but you know what I'm saying? It's just another ripoff.
And then he made Ready Player One for girls.
Yeah. And it's kind of a Tron ripoff, low key.
Yeah.
Like the style. Anyway, best part of the movie.
Wait, I was thinking,
What?
I'm going to pass you.
Okay, listen. Hold on. That Hot Wheels Highway 35 World Race is a masterpiece. I know this. I have actually very recently, like literally last week, watched this whole movie with a group of friends.
Okay.
Via the internet.
Yes.
It was amazing. It's incredible. That movie is completely original.
Okay. So you think it's an homage?
It steals nothing.
Okay. That was the first thought that came to my mind.
World Race has nothing to do with Spy Kids 3.
Whatever you say.
They are both masterpieces.
Sounds like bias, but all right.
What is Hot Wheels take from
They race.
every movie that has ever had
Don't
racing?
they have one of those in that movie? One of the ones where you have to go up and then you go straight down? Like
The tracks in Highway 35 are crazy. They're made by the Accelerons. Don't you understand? Ancient beings.
Yes.
They've lived for eons.
We'll have our Hot Wheels episode eventually.
We better.
We will, because I'll talk about the video games too. The track stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they have a big race. You've got Arnold, you've got Francis, and you've got third guy. What is his name?
The cool guy.
Yeah, the cool one. He's so cool that he doesn't even have a name.
Yep.
We'll just say that.
And they have this epic race.
This is when they think that he's the guy from the poster, and they think Juni is the guy.
Yeah, but the cool guy is like, I don't know. And they're like, okay, if you win the race, then you're definitely the guy.
Proves it.
The guy from the poster.
Also, they say the guy from this point on every other sentence.
The guy. He's the guy. I'm not the guy. Anyway. So there's a funny part where they're getting ready to start the race. They're all picking their cars or whatever, and they're sitting down. And Sylvester Stallone comes over on the PA, and he's like,
yeah,
this is a race. Anything goes. There are no rules. The only rule is to win. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah.
And then they just start blasting.
Just 0 to 2,000 miles per hour.
And then they have a freaking epic race where anything is going.
Yeah,
just like Ready Player One.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing, because you were talking about the thing where they go straight up and straight down,
yeah,
that is actually verbatim in Ready Player One. They literally go straight up and straight down.
Okay.
And a ton of cars crash or whatever.
Cool.
Nonsense. Anyway, they have a freaking epic race. They're going through all this cool little tunnels and stuff, and the cool guy is trying to sabotage Juni. And there's a part where he's like, Juni, press the red button. He's like, the one that says do not push? Yeah, it's a power boost. He's like, oh, okay.
It's an ejector, and he just goes, psh.
And his whole car blows up.
And then Grandpa's like, Juni, you're supposed to be winning. And that line just cracks me up.
Classic line.
What? So he gets him on a new car, and Juni gets off in the best. And then the cool guy, he betrays Arnold too, because he steals Arnold's car as well. So
anything goes, bro.
So then Arnold, kind of helps Juni out a little bit later. He's like, grab the glove. And he grabs the cool guy's boxing glove, and he throws him off the edge of the track, and he loses 3 lives.
And then Juni's he's zooming. He's in first place. And then he's like, oh, my gosh, the track is ending.
Yeah.
So he slams on the brakes and stops right at the edge. And he's like, oh, man, what do I do? It's just like pit to nothingness. Yeah. Then all the cars start driving, which I'm sure this has been ripped for other movies, too, where someone stopped and all the cars are coming.
Yeah.
There's got to be a movie.
A bajillion.
So they all hit him, and they all freaking crash.
Including the mysterious purple masked racer.
Yes.
Who could it be?
And then the grandpa's like, grab a new car, Juni. Yeah. And so he grabs a car, and they race, and then Sylvester Stallone's like, this is the final stretch. And then a gigantic car comes out of nowhere, and it's the purple racer. Oh my gosh, who is it? Trying to get Juni. And then Juni's car falls apart. I don't remember how it does, but it falls apart.
Yeah.
And then he's sliding on the hubcap.
And he
wins
crossed the finish. He wins
first
the race.
place. Wow.
So good.
And they're like, definitely the guy. And then he like stomps on it and like flips it up into his
It's actually
hand.
really cool.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I'm a badass.
I'm a badass. Then the purple racer comes over, takes off her helmet.
It's Demetra.
Demetra from the arena.
OMG.
That's so crazy.
No way.
Oh, that's unbelievable. And then he has a talk with his grandpa. And his grandpa is like, hey, when we find the toy maker, what's up? And it's like, oh, well, we got to shut off the game. And his grandpa, you don't want to like murder him? And Juni's like, no, I don't want to murder him. And Grandpa's like, okay, I guess.
When do we find out about that?
When Carmen shows up.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So they do the race. Yay. They get to go to level 3. And now they're all the Demetras with the group 2 now.
And they're all like, Juni's the guy.
Yeah,
this
he's
is
the
it.
guy.
We're here to support him getting to level 5 so we all can win.
Yep.
Because Juni doesn't tell them that his goal is to actually turn off the game.
Yes, they don't know.
They think they're going to get like riches and prizes from winning the game. Which leads us to level 3.
They get to level 3, and Sylvester Stallone is like, send your best player.
Wait, not yet.
Yes.
No, because they take the shortcut to get there, and that's the programmers.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
She's like, I have a map. And he's like, that's cheating.
Yeah.
You're right. I almost forgot.
Yeah, exactly. So they take it, and they get the programmers, and they're like, what are these? And there's these guys in black trench coats and, like, headbands and stuff that come down. And they're like, looky here. We got a cheater on our hands. And these are 2 dudes, and they're super cool.
Super cool.
They're very, very cool. And they go, we're going to
bounce you back to level 1.
And Juni just kind of stands there. And
he's like, Grandpa. And he's like, this is a great part. Demetra's like, he's not scared of you. He's the guy. And then he's like, Grandpa.
And they're like, oh, what's your grandpa going to do? Drool on us? And then he comes back and he picks him up.
He's huge.
He's like, why are you harming my grandson? And let's see what you really look like. And then Demetra just pulls out a device.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Boop. Gets rid of their disguises. They're nerds. OMG.
They got pocket protectors. They got pens, and they got the tape glasses.
on their glasses. They're nerds.
They're still... I think they're still cool. But,
well, yeah.
But, you know, they're all
in
nerds.
2003, they're nerds.
So they make fun of them, and then they run away. They're like, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
And
And now we get to the part I was thinking
Now we
of.
get to the part.
They standing on like this ledge, and he's like, Sylvester Stallone's like, send your best player, and everyone's like, oh, the guy,
best
definitely.
player.
And she's like, yeah, okay, I'll get on.
Well, and can
What?
we do a little preface? He has a little heart to heart with like the group, right? So he finally like wants to get to know Arnold. He's the tough guy. He's kind of the strong and silent type. They're like, Arnold, why are you playing the game? And this happens like right
character
before.
development.
And
How
he
could I
goes to
forget?
Juni. He takes off his glasses, and he's like, I have to help my family escape from poverty. It's the only thing that's keeping me going is that I need to make a better life for my family.
Yeah.
And Juni goes like, oh, that's really cool. And then they send your strongest warrior. And they send Arnold.
Yep.
Now kill each other.
Yep. Like,
And Arnold's
battle.
like, I literally just told you my motivation.
He's like, sorry, Juni. Gotta think of my family.
Exactly.
And then Arnold destroys Juni. It is not close.
Well, here's the thing. We actually forgot another thing.
Oh, man.
I'm mad. Because right before they got there, they found a life pack. And because Juni defeated Demetra in the arena, he gave it to her so she could get all 9 of her
because
lives
he's
back. He's a big...
He's a S word.
He's a big S word. And, like, really hard, actually.
Yeah.
So he fights Arnold. It's an awesome fight. They got lightsabers. So Star Wars, again, ripped off Spy Kids 3D because with their lightsabers.
Obviously.
These
these lightsabers are cooler, though. They're like staff.
They're like staffs, but
instead of like sword.
you
lightsabers.
hold the laser.
Yeah, freaking awesome, and they can like do things.
Yeah,
like other things.
They get like ends that do stuff. Anyway, he has like 5 lives at the beginning of the fight. He gets down to 0.5 lives.
Yep, he's about to get the finishing.
He's about to die, and then he gets tagged out of the fight.
You've been tagged.
Yes, and he's like, what? What does that mean?
OMG.
Somebody's taken his place in the fight. Who is it? Was it Francis? Was it? No, it was Demetra.
It's Demetra. Oh, what a sacrifice!
But she's got all 9 of her
love.
lives, so you know that makes sense. She's got 9 lives. Arnold doesn't have 9 lives, I don't think. You know,
probably not.
So it's good. And then she gets killed immediately. Game's over.
She gets destroyed by
This
Arnold.
made me so mad when I was a kid. Because she literally gets full 9 lives from Juni and then immediately games over in one.
She gets one shot. He hits the thing and
the platform
destroys.
And the pit is an automatic game over.
Yeah.
That pissed me off
She
so
sucks.
bad.
And then Arnold comes back and
sorry, Juni.
he's like, sorry, Juni. I had to do it for my family.
Yeah, but then they're cool, basically.
They're chilling.
Yeah.
Then they get to go on to level 4.
And that's where Carmen is.
Yes, and there's a funny part where he's like, "This is where Carmen's at,"
Mm-hmm.
and then like the telepathy thing happens again.
Again,
He's like, "Oh,
which I
didn't
realize that the telepathy. I mean, they said at the end of the second movie, like they were on the ship and they did telepathy, but I thought it was just because they were still near the island. But no, they just have telepathy forever now.
And then he's like, she sounds close. And then she's like, because I am. Mm. And then like the music swells. I like the Spy Kids music pretty good, by the way.
Yeah, honestly, I remember as a kid when I saw Carmen and the light was all behind her and she had the hair.
She's got the huge claw.
The huge glove. I remember like that was like when
whoa.
Spider-Man showed up.
Yeah. It's like,
in Civil War.
Baby.
I was like, Carmen's here.
She's like, I am. And it's like, doo-doo-doo.
And then the gamer boys are like, do you want our email addresses?
The email address is so funny.
Especially now.
Yes.
That's so funny.
Get our emails. And she's like, don't talk to me.
Yeah. So they're back, and that's when we find out 2 things. One, that the toy maker is actually leading them to him.
Yes.
He wants them to get to level 5. And 2, that the toy maker is the one who put Grandpa in the wheelchair 30 years ago.
Yep. Revelation.
That's huge.
It is huge.
That's a big thing.
And that's Grandpa's motivation.
Exactly. So he doesn't want to trap the toy maker. He wants to get him. He wants to get him out and revenge.
Yep.
So that adds a little interpersonal drama, you know? So they're like, where do we go? They take out the map. We got to go in the volcano. And they're like, okay, the volcano's an instant game over, so let's not. So they try to go around it, but
Sylvester Stallone is like, idiots. I give them a map. I give them the girl.
What more do they want?
Send in the Tinker Toys.
Yes. And they send them into these little steel trap things. Grandpa straight up yeets a couple of them.
Yeah, they're fighting them.
They run back to the volcano. They're about to be annihilated by them, so there's no choice. They have to jump into the volcano and start surfing, rock surfing in the volcano.
Yep.
Down into it.
And then, this is one thing I never understood. The OSS people are like, what are they doing? Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. And then Salma Hayek is like,
pull them out.
We need to get them out of the game. We need to do something to them so they can get game over. And then they like manipulate the game, which I don't, because they're not the toy maker. I don't know how they can manipulate the game.
They hack into it.
They got hacks. Yeah. That's one thing I never understood, but it doesn't matter.
Well, it's like a hacked lobby in like Call of Duty when it would be like everyone's super fast and has like knives.
That is true, yeah.
So it's like a hacked lobby.
Okay, makes sense now. Boom.
Exactly.
Bam.
Perfect.
Okay. They're like, make big lava monster. Okay, awesome. The lava monster destroys everybody.
Every single one of them kills them. I mean, it's a wipe. They wipe.
They get wiped.
Yeah.
And then Juni's like, whoa, the lava.
It's cold.
It's cold. And then they're all like swimming in the lava or whatever, which great subversion of expectations.
Seriously, like you think that it's over, everyone's dead, like it's done.
Yeah, but psych.
No. They find an under lava cavern,
and then they find the door to level 5.
And
they're like, oh my gosh, we made it to level 5.
And then Francis says, "Wait, cool guy. I was rereading the manual, and it says that there's a deceiver that'll think he's there to help you, but will actually lead you to a game over." And he's like, "I think Juni is the deceiver."
Right. Yeah.
And he says that. They're like, "Okay, we got to get this door open." It's like, "How do we do that?" Carmen's like, "I don't know." And then
lights. It's blinding light.
The silver armor is reflecting all the light everywhere, and it's just a silhouette appears from the light.
And then Frodo appears.
I'm the guy. Or no, he says he's not the guy. I am. That's what it is.
Because he has the ring.
Yes.
And then Frodo is like, everyone's like, whoa, look, it's
Elijah
the guy.
Wood. Yes.
It's Frodo.
Frodo, yes.
It's more fun that way.
He's the guy, and even Juni's like, yeah, that's probably the guy.
Yep.
I never said I was the guy.
And then he destructo beams the door. Door stands no chance. They're ready to go
done.
into level 5. He's like, let's get level 5 and win the game.
It's just a bunch of like purple circuit board kind of cube looking things.
He walks in. Everyone's like, yeah, that's the guy. He looks around. He says, cake. And then he lightning attack from everywhere, all corners.
He has 99 lives.
He has 99 lives.
What happens?
Oops. He's dead. The guy just got absolutely destroyed.
99 lives
one
to
shot.
0, one shot by the electricity.
He got one shot.
It's sad. It's sad.
And then the funny part, the cool guy's like, okay, you're the guy again.
You're the guy again. That is funny.
Let's do it. And they're like, okay, let's do it. And then, oh my gosh, look who's back. Demetra. And then Carmen is like, who's this? And he's like, Juni's like, this is my friend. It's my girl.
I'm his girlfriend. I'm his sister. Right?
And then she's talking a bunch of nonsense. She's like, Juni.
And then Carmen comes over with a big love and goes,
gives her the swipe.
Goes straight through her.
She's the deceiver.
She's the deceiver. She's programming in the game data.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, Juni.
It's just in my programming.
Unbelievable. And then
how could this happen?
Sylvester Stallone's face appears. And he's like,
Congratulations!
You made it to the end of the game. You win. And your prize is you get to stay here. So good. Incredible delivery from Sylvester Stallone.
But here's the thing. They find the switches. There's 2 switches. One to turn off the game and one to free the toy maker.
Yes.
And so they're running away. They're about to...
There's giant robot monkeys.
Yeah, there's giant robot monkeys. They're about to kill him. And Demetra's there. She's watching. She cries a tear. And they're like, we got to go. And they get through the door to the exit level. And Grandpa's holding it open. They're like, go, go, go. Then Demetra comes over. She has a change of heart. And she holds the door open. She's like, I can't hold it forever. Grandpa gets out. They all escape to the OSS. The game's been turned off. They get there. They've won.
Yay.
Movie over. Unless...
Just kidding.
Just
kidding. Grandpa, they're like, Salma Hayek's like, did you turn the game off or did you free the toy maker? And he's like, I freed the toy maker.
I freed the toy maker. Of course I did. And then the 3 kids from the actual game just show up for a second. The tough guy's a nerd. The cool guy's just normal. And the nerd is like a cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very interesting. They do nothing, though.
Yeah. And then you're like, you idiot old man. And then earthquake. And I just thought this was funny. They're in a room, and there's, like, these little cubbies that go, like, way up high on the wall where people are, like, working.
Yes.
And there's, like, a big earthquake. And these people who gotta be, like, 50, 60 feet in the air just fall off.
Yeah.
And they fall to their death.
Yeah, they die.
They have to die.
Another thing that you could do with this game, drinking game, if you want to die, is every time all the actors just have to start pretending stuff is moving. It happens like at least 30 times in this thing.
Amazing.
Because they're just like, oh, earthquake.
Lots of great
oh,
drinking
the
games.
lava. Oh, the frogs. You know,
The Tinker
Toys. Yeah. Having so much.
And then turns out that the toy maker has brought the game to the real world.
Paprika ripped off Spy Kids 3D, but they just made it a dream to the real world instead of a video game.
Yep.
So Paprika.
There's another one. And you can only see it with the glasses for the game.
You need the glasses that, if you saw it in the theater originally, you were wearing those glasses.
Exactly, so you could see it.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of them. They're going to totally destroy the city. OMG, what are they going to do?
And nobody can fight them because they can't see them.
Yeah.
And
So
I think
he's
it's
like-
really funny when they have all the footage that's very green screened. And there's just like people actually, like, it's just like stock footage, and there's just people walking, just like like walking their dog in the background, just like existing.
They don't know.
They don't know.
And then
They gave away all their glasses to fight the robots. They're like, we need to call family,
we
right?
need to call the family.
So they're like,
And then
mom and dad.
Here we go. I told you before the show I was going to bring this up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm once again bringing up Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
We were talking about ripoffs the whole film. This is obviously the most apparent. I mean, probably the single most famous scene in all of Marvel is the portals scene.
Yeah.
When everybody comes back to fight Thanos.
On your left.
Now listen, that is a complete ripoff of the incredible scene from the end of this film where they call in the family and everybody shows up.
So they get Dad, right? Okay, so Dad, he's working on the 5th brain. He made a
Yes.
4th one at some point. I
Yes.
guess during Spy Kids 2.
The 5th brain.
He's working on the 5th brain. It's very perfect. He's about to finish it. And then he gets a call. He's like, your children need you. He puts down the device.
And he destroys. And he swings up and he zips up
Destroys
into
it all.
the sky.
Shoots up to the... No reason to throw the stuff off the table, but, for effect. Bursts through the ceiling. He's there. He's in his lab coat. He's ready to
lands.
fight.
And then big
It says
green
Dad.
letters. Dad.
Dad. Then Mom shows up.
Mom.
Right at the bottom. And then they're there and they're fighting. There's so many. They give them the glasses. There's so many of them. It's like, we're not enough. Oh, their uncle shows up too.
Uncle, grandma, and grandpa.
Grandma,
Machete.
Grandpa. They all show up there. It's like, our family's not big enough. Then Juni remembers what Gertie said at the beginning of the movie.
Yep.
You got to remember, everyone's your family. And then he pulls out his device. He goes, call everyone. And then the music pumps up. You get everyone.
Everyone from all the movies.
Floop comes back with Minion. Minion gets 4 pairs of glasses because he's got the multiple sets of eyes.
Romero's back.
Romero comes up with a bunch of the animal, or at least the one.
He's got the pig. He flies in on the pig.
Yeah. Dinky
Winks.
Dinky
shows
Winks
up.
and Little
And
Dink.
his son.
His son, Little Dink.
I mean, it's just incredible, and it's way better than the portal scene from Endgame. I'm just saying.
Gary and Gertie also both show up.
Yep.
It's
Everybody's there, ready to take on the battle. And the battle, way more epic.
mm-hmm.
I mean, I want to talk to Anthony and Joe Russo. I really want to know. I'd be like, have you seen Spy Kids 3? And did you steal this? Because it's obvious.
I'm just saying that Gregorio Cortez punches a giant robot with his bare hands and wins.
I mean, hello, he could take out the whole MCU by himself.
Exactly. Like, Iron Man would not stand a chance, obviously. Ultron, nothing. Galactus, probably done if Gregorio got his hands on him, So it makes you wonder the power levels.
He's OP.
He's very OP. Anyway,
Epic battle.
Grandpa's like, I gotta take care of this. I gotta go to the toy maker.
Right, because he's in the big Sylvester Stallone
yes,
robot.
so that's
at the end that comes
by
in.
the Capitol.
They're like, no one can beat it.
By the Capitol building.
Yeah.
So Grandpa has to storm the Capitol building. And he flies up in his wheelchair, and it's like, they used to be allies, but the toy maker, his mistakes got Grandpa's legs broken, and that's why he turned to the dark side.
Yep.
And Grandpa, he looks into the eyes. He's like, all these years, I've wanted to tell you what you did to me, what it made me miss. He's like, I missed the birth of my daughter, and I didn't get to walk her down the aisle.
Yep.
And stuff like that. He says all these things. I can't walk on the beach with the woman that I love, right? And then he's like...
Emotional.
It's very emotional. He's like, then let me tell you what I've gained. Humility. And he goes on.
It goes a huge list.
It's a nice scene, like legitimately nice scene.
And then he's like, I forgive
And then
you.
he's like, in all these years, I wanted to do one thing. I wanted to tell you that I forgive you.
And then
Stallone's like,
he's completely, I mean, he's totally taken
flabbergasted. He's like,
no
oh my
idea.
gosh. And he comes out, they make amends,
Turns off the game.
turns off the game. He's like, you know what? Game over. Turns off the game. All the robots die. They're done for. They come out. Look, happy ending.
Yay.
Yay.
Awesome end to the
It's
amazing
You
trilogy.
get all the people. It's a big comeback. Everyone's coming back. It's a end that makes sense for the trilogy.
Yep.
It's like good end there. It's all wrapped up.
And then literally, I don't know if you watched the credits, but in the credits at the very end of in all the credits of the movies, they have like funny bloopers and stuff. But at the very end of these credits, it shows Juni
yes,
and
the
Carmen's
original
audition
tapes.
tapes,
Yes.
which was really cool.
and they're like 6 or
They're
5.
little
Yeah, they're
babies.
super super young.
so
that
that
was
cool.
a neat little tidbit. Indeed.
And then they were like, "Yay, Spy Kids trilogy over," and it was freaking amazing,
Yeah.
so good. Spy Kids trilogy, I mean, probably in the top 5 trilogies all time. It probably goes like Spy Kids, Lord of the Rings, and then like whatever else.
Star Wars,
Yeah,
original Star Wars, Shrek.
Shrek has 4.
So does Spy Kids.
Kind of.
Not kind of.
And then 8 years later, after 2003,
years.
Rob Rog was like, you know what would be a great idea if we made another Spy Kids movie? But this time, instead of them being fun, it was just awful.
Spy Kids 4.
Hence Spy Kids 4D.
4D. Do you know why it's 4D?
I heard that the only thing that was 4D was that when you went to get a ticket for the movie, the ticket was like a scratch and sniff.
Exactly. It was 3D and scratch and sniff. So there were certain parts.
4D.
Like the blue cheese dressing bomb. When you did that, you'd scratch the blue cheese part and you'd go. And it was smell-o-vision. It was the thing. It was like Spy Kids 3D had 3D. Spy Kids 4D had smell-o-vision.
Amazing.
Anyway.
It's
8 years after the fact. We have new kids.
terrible.
Obviously,
I
because
hate
the Spy
both of
Kids
them.
aren't kids anymore. I don't hate either one of them alone, but I hate both of them together.
I hate both of them all the time.
I don't think Carmen and Juni, I still, even though people have told me and I've looked it up and it's not true, I still believe they're brother and sister in real life.
Oh.
They're not, but I think they are.
Yes,
and they're hiding
exactly.
it. These two, whose names
Don't know.
I do not.
I couldn't tell you anyone's name in this movie other than Carmen and Juni, who show up later. Spoilers.
Melissa? Is Jessica Alba? Melissa?
What is Jessica Alba doing in this movie?
Well, Rob Rog.
You're right. Rob Rock, he can get anybody.
Well, no, they had a bit of a history, I think.
Oh, really?
At this point, yeah, I think they were in a few things. Because I watched another movie that I can talk about after this that is kind of related to this movie.
So, let's just speed through this.
Okay, we focus on Melissa. Let's just assume that's her name. Jessica Alba, who is a pregnant mom spy, and she wants to destroy TikTok.
Yes, that's the part that has aged the best.
It is that the end that the bad guy's name is TikTok.
Yes,
that is the best part. And then she's like, one last job when I'm pregnant, and then I'm good.
I'm gonna be a mom now.
So she beats him. Then she marries Joel McHale, and that's their kid together. And the two kids that are the main spy kids are actually her stepkids. She's a stepmom.
Yeah.
So one thing that's I think really harms this movie is that there's like 3 plots going on at once, almost 4, because you have what the bad guy's doing, you have what the two kids are doing, you have what the mom is doing, and what the dad is doing. Like that are all separate plot lines happening throughout the film.
Yeah.
And it's like too much, if you ask me.
I agree.
Because the dad's part really did not need to be in there as much as it did, even though I like Joel McHale.
He's great.
He's like a TV show host. He's a spy hunter. That's like his reality show. He tries to find real life spies, but he's married to one. He doesn't even
He
know
doesn't
it.
know. Oh my gosh, the irony.
So TikTok is back, and he is taking his time.
Okay.
He's taking time. Days are getting shorter. Hours are turning to minutes. You know.
Yeah. Time is speeding up.
Yeah. We're losing time.
It's the end of the world.
Eventually, seconds will be years. You know, it's bad stuff. Bad stuff.
They gotta fix it.
So, the woman agent, what does she do? What does she even do?
Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
They try to do it, but she can't get it because the timekeeper, who's masked. Oh my gosh, who's the
Yes.
timekeeper? Which, by the way, blew my mind when we figured out who the timekeeper was. And I actually had no idea.
Really?
Yes.
Even
Did you
though-
know who it was?
Even though TikTok and him had the same face?
So, I didn't pay great attention to this movie.
Okay, fair enough.
I thought, because there's a part where I don't remember how, but Carmen shows up somehow, and
Yeah,
she's
she's
like
just
a
there.
woman. She's like a woman now.
Because she's still in the
like real
OSS.
high up in the OSS.
She's still in the OSS. Junie left the OSS again.
And then they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're Carmen.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Juni?" And she's like, "We do not speak of Juni."
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
was like, "Oh, Juni's the timekeeper."
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Originally, I was like, "Oh, he's the timekeeper," but when he showed up, I imagined
Yes.
that they weren't going to actually still make him the timekeeper.
So,
Although
crazy.
I did get scared by that again when he wasn't frozen. Like for a split second, I was like,
oh, he's like,
Exactly.
these idiots.
which I think actually would have been cooler,
It would have been sweet.
you know?
Yeah. But then they like group up, and Carmen kind of teaches the kids how to be like Spy Kids, kind of.
Yeah, she shows them the old Spy Kids division, and you see like every prop from the old movies.
Yes, which I thought
room.
that was cool.
It was cool. I mean, it was obviously like the nostalgia bait part of the show, but
exactly. And then they find out that their dog,
Argonaut,
is like a robot spy dog.
Robot British spy dog, Ricky Gervais.
Who, by the way, if Argonaut was not in this movie, I think it would be unwatchable. I think Argonaut saves the movie.
But the movie would be shorter.
Yes, but I think Argonaut is... I actually think he's funny. He has funny lines.
I think Argonaut's pretty funny.
He says basically what I'm thinking. Like, there's a part where he's literally like, these kids... He's like, you guys are stupid and you ruin everything.
Right. He's like mocking them. It's like, I'm sorry, we didn't mean... I'm sorry, I didn't mean it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we're kids and
he's
we're
great.
It's pretty good.
And then the time keeps on getting faster. And then let's talk about Juni, because when he enters, talk about like top 5 anime entrances. I like screamed. I thought it was so good. He looks so badass.
Yeah.
They're like, Carmen thinks they're talking about. Oh yeah,
it's like we have to put this on our very best agent Cortez, and Carmen like gets up to like accept it, and he even came out of retirement to help us, and he burst through
the doors, and like the music is like playing crazy, and he's got these cool ass sunglasses on. There's like wind blowing in his hair, and he walks in, he's like, and he looks so fucking cool. I was like, whoa, Juni's here, and he's like, what's up? And then him and Carmen have like bickering, whatever.
Obviously, brother and sister thing.
And then they fight the timekeeper.
Well, they put the kids in the lounge and be like, don't do anything. And
that's when they find out that the timekeeper is actually the dude.
Danger Diamo.
Yes.
Because for some reason the kids just have a knack for anagrams.
Yeah, he's like, it's an anagram.
Like, did you realize that your name actually happens to be... I don't know why I was thinking about this, but I was.
It's an anagram for Armageddon, which is the machine.
Which is a weird coincidence. Or... and then he's like locks him in. And then a part of the movie happens where they're like, it's locked. And then they just sit in there for like 2 hours until they're like, hey, robot dog that can murder people, can you open the door? And he's like, yes. And he just opens the door by breaking it down. But
yeah. And then they fight all the bad guys with their thunder. He's got like thunder hands.
That's another thing I want to talk about in this movie, because 3 didn't have gadgets, but it had video game stuff, so it may as well have been gadgets because it was like video game gadgets, right? The 4th movie has bags of puke, which isn't exactly a gadget.
I hate that part so bad.
It has... The gadgets in this are the hammer fists and the stompers, which the boy has, which are just you punch good and you kick good. And then the girl has like a plasma whip. And they're both just like weapons. You know what I mean? There's no like actually... It's not really... Like, to me, a gadget isn't necessarily something that uses a weapon. It's something that does a specific thing, you know? So I was really disappointed by that.
Yeah, it sucks.
I thought that was stupid. It was like, oh, it's just like video game weapons. Like, that's not cool. Whatever. There's a lot of things that I could say that's not cool about in this movie.
They get into a big fight with the timekeeper. He freezes everybody except for Juni, because Juni doesn't have his OSS badge.
And that's how he's doing it.
So he can escape and do things. But then they just all get frozen again anyway.
Because he uses the super frozen magic.
Right, but the kids don't get frozen. Okay.
Because they're holding his watch that makes him immune.
Yes.
I think that the villain actually isn't that bad, and the actor's portrayal of him, maybe it's just because everything else is real rough, but I really think his thing of him having to watch his dad try to fix him for like 40 years.
Yeah, no, I thought that was actually kind of interesting.
That's a really good... premise. If that was an anime, I'd probably love it.
Yeah, right?
So I really thought that was a good like origin story for this bad guy. But maybe that was just everything else being so bad that I couldn't deal with it. And I was just like, fine, sure, good enough. Give it to me. Because how they win the day is kind of stupid, because he's kind of just like, you're right.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a Wonder Woman 1984 ending.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know what? I guess you were right when you said those things that I said you were wrong about. Never mind.
And then it just like ends. They're like, it's my Spy Kids.
They become Spy Kids.
Yeah.
And Spy Baby. So there's a baby in this movie that literally all it does is shit its pants the whole time.
Oh, I was thinking you were talking about drinking game. A drinking game for this movie. Take a shot every time there's a fart or a poop joke.
Yeah.
Because, wow.
You will die.
Wow.
They're like every scene the baby is in is one.
Yep.
And then the dog has like two.
Yep.
And then there's one between Carmen and Juni. There's one where they teleport themselves. There's a lot.
It's bad.
There's a lot. But I did like seeing Carmen and Juni. It was like the best
If
part.
they weren't in it, whoa.
Oh boy.
Whoa.
It would
We're
have
in
been
for
really
a
bad.
real bad movie. It's already really bad.
Because I was almost on the movie side really early on, almost when they first showed up, just because Carmen had a line or something where the stepmom, who's their aunt, which was like, why didn't she show up in that to Spy Kids 3D then? You know, if she's their aunt.
Rog.
Unless she was like married in and then divorced but kept the last name.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Long lost, who knows? What was I saying?
I don't remember. Something about Carmen coming back.
So like I remember she said a line like, Carmen, my girl stepdaughter's a lot like you, and Carmen was like, that's what I'm afraid of. I was like, I like that little energy where she's like, she knew she was kind of a shitty kid who would like hack the government for fun, you know.
And then thank the Lord, the movie ends.
Yeah, I was mad that Juni and the kids really get nothing.
Yeah, Juni doesn't do anything.
He calls them and is like, can you guys help? And they're like, yeah. We've been sitting here even though we could have left the whole time, but like I guess we'll help now.
Oh yeah, this movie sucks.
There's another part.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm sorry, they're so bad. But so the kid is hearing impaired, right?
Oh, you're right, because I wanted to talk about this too. Yeah,
okay.
Thank you for reminding me.
Well, the part that I'm thinking of is right after they talk to Juni and escape, the kid goes, his hammer hands don't work, he's trying to open this door.
Yep,
And he
this
goes,
is the exact
he
part
goes,
I'm thinking of.
a real spy doesn't have to rely on his gadgets. So he throws off the hammer hands and he goes to his hearing aids and he turns them up and uses them to like figure out the combination on the door.
Stupid.
But it's
I've seen The Sound of Metal, okay? I know that that's not how it works.
well, he's hearing impaired. He's not deaf. It's a little bit different. But,
anyway, it just enhances his hearing so much that he can hear the clicks of the lock.
Right. And he's like, I don't need to rely on my gadgets. I have my hearing aids.
Yes. What?
It's kind of a gadget. It's not a spy gadget, but it's a gadget, little kid. It seemed weird to me when I watched that scene. I was like, they had a thing where they're like, oh, because of my hearing, my other senses have been heightened.
Yeah.
That didn't even come up again.
Nope, not once.
Like they didn't give him extra vision or taste or smell.
It was just for those fart jokes.
It was for the
because
fart
they
jokes.
smelled really
He's
bad
like,
to
the
him.
fart jokes are even worse for me. But like they could have made him like blind or something, and then he could hear better if he like, you know, if he had big glasses.
Sucks.
It was so stupid, but I thought that was a very dumb scene.
Okay.
Just had to
Are we
point
good
that out.
now?
Are we good?
I just don't want to talk about this movie anymore. I'll talk about the other ones, but not this one. The first 3 Spy Kids movies, great. The fourth one, bad. Okay, let's do
the dad finds out about them, by the way, and he's cool with it. They're like, fine, whatever.
Oh, yeah. Whatever. It's stupid. Let's rank the movies, and then we can move on.
Worst 4, third worst 2. Then I know you think 3's the best, and then 1. I think 1's the best, and then 3, but it's so close.
Mine's
like,
not close. 3 is masterpiece. We talked about it for like a half hour. We literally showed how almost all the big pop cultural moments from the past 10 years were just ripped from the third
Are we
movie.
saying objectively or subjectively?
It's objectively and subjectively the best.
Well, I disagree.
That's fine.
Objectively, 3 is the best. Personally, I like 1 the most, but the fact is that 3 is the best.
It's the best. It's the cornerstone of cinema
Technically,
for the 21st century.
and writing-wise and acting-wise, 3 is the best, but I personally like 1 the most. And it's mostly because of not as much Carmen in 3. And I like the Carmen and Juni thing, and that's all 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I'll take it. But yeah, mine's definitely 3, 1, 2, 4.
Okay.
But, it's more 3, 1, 2. A really long gap. As Brad Pitt and Moneyball would say. There's 3, and there's 1, and there's 2. Then there's 50 feet of crap. And then there's 4.
Yeah, exactly. It's not good.
We love Moneyball.
I watched one more movie that I want to bring up.
Oh.
And I don't want to talk about it for too long.
Is it about Spy Kids?
You tell me. I watched the movie called Machete.
Oh, you watched Machete?
I watched Machete from 2010 from Rob Rog,
Yes.
starring Machete
Yes, from Spy Kids. The Spy Kids starts the Machete verse.
and starring Daryl Sabara, Juni. He's also in it.
Whoa.
But who's not in it is Carmen because she's in Machete Kills, which is the sequel.
Is she Carmen? Are they Juni and Carmen?
Yes, his name is Juni.
That's awesome.
And it's Junito, I think. And she's Carmenita.
The Machete
But
verse.
she's not in this one. She's actually in the sequel where she plays like a assassin prostitute.
Nice.
And Juni's like a drug dealing gangster, I think.
Nice.
And that movie, I think it's really good, actually. Well, not really good, but I think it was fun. I was not quite what I was expecting. I liked it a lot. Where it's Machete and he is like, gets hired by this dude to like assassinate this like racist politician. But it was a setup and they needed someone to be the fall guy so that his plans could go through so they could build the wall, you know? Because it's like, look, this Mexican dude tried to kill me. We need the thing. So it was a plan all along. So he goes back. And what's funny is that he doesn't actually kill a ton of people in this movie. He actually subdues because everyone thinks he's a killer and stuff. They're like, oh, this murder. And he goes out of his way to not kill people, even though in the beginning, because it's like a flashback, he kills quite a few people. So, like, you know he's capable of it. But he actually goes out of his way to not. And it's a movie that has not too out of gore because, again, he doesn't kill that many people. But enough. And plenty of nudity. Lindsay Lohan gets naked.
Nice.
And he makes out with her.
Nice.
And there's this part that's funny where he's got a weed whacker and this guy's reaching for a gun to like shoot him. And he just stands there. Whenever the guy reaches for the gun, he just puts the weed whacker on his hands. And the dude's like, stop. And then he bunts him and he knocks him out or whatever. Very fun. Robert De Niro is also in it.
Nice.
Jessica Alba is in it. Michelle Rodriguez.
Love Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Big
she's
fan.
Great. They're all in it. And it was just a fun little romp. You know, and then
I'll have to see that.
At the end, it ends with Machete will return in Machete Kills.
Machete will return in Spy Kids 5.
And Machete Kills Again. Which apparently they're going to make. It's going to be called Machete Kills Again in Space.
Nice.
So I don't know. I haven't seen the second one. I heard it was less well received as the first one, but I thought the first one was pretty fun.
I like it.
Yeah. That was good.
Okay.
I like Danny Trejo. He's got a nice voice.
Love Danny Trejo.
He was in Breaking Bad.
Yes. His head was, at least.
Tortuga.
Yeah, we did it.
We did it. We talked about all 5 Spy Kids movies.
Yes. Epic. Okay.
Very
what
epic.
time? It's time for the reviews of the week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. So what do we got?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
You go first.
Let's do it. 1 out of 10.
Oh, this is a review from Spy Kid from Spy Kids 1. Before they have their third brain installed.
Is the time of time to get my hair done, and then I will pay for the next time. I'm going to send you a picture of your picture and send you a picture, Levi. Zlum.
Okay, so this is Attack on Titan. I know what this is. I think I know what this is.
What?
This is somebody started typing a bunch of random letters into their phone to write a review. How'd they rate it, by the way?
1 out of 10.
1 out of 10, okay.
They really didn't like the latest episode.
Somebody was so mad that they just started mashing on their phone, and then they started mashing the auto-complete, and it just made their sentences for them.
Oh,
and that's what they got.
That's kind of exactly probably what happened.
And I think that's what that is. Why didn't they like it?
I don't know. On IMDb it has like a 9.9. Yeah. So obviously everyone loves it. There's just always the few people that are just idiots that don't understand. They don't understand good storytelling, and they're like to hate on it. They think they're really smart because they're like, this show actually sucks, but they're actually really dumb because they don't understand how it works.
Or
awesome.
They think they're smart enough, and then they watch Mother, and they're like, yeah, I've read the Bible. And then they're like, this movie's dumb. And then you're like, okay, this guy doesn't know what he's talking. Anyway, this guy does know cinema. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm sure he does.
This is Fran Blanco. This was a review from December 16th, 2018.
Nice.
I am a single father of 3 children. I raised them, and I showed them affection. They do their best to please their father, but they will never be as loved as this movie. And the title is the best movie of all time.
Spy Kids 3.
This is about Spy Kids
Let's
3.
freaking go, baby. Come on. It rocks. Nothing will ever be as loved as Spy Kids 3 Game Over. It's amazing.
Not
Incredible
even this
masterpiece.
father's 3 children. Never.
No, screw them. They're nothing
No, I
compared to
agree.
Spy Kids 3.
Unless his kids are Carmen, Juni, and Despacito. They're not going to be as loved.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll be real, though. In some of the reviews of Spy Kids, because I looked at all of them to see, I looked at the 1s out of 10s and the 10s out of 10s.
Yeah.
There were some, like, vaguely racist things going on.
Oh, I'm sure there was.
Like, it's so hard to escape. Especially, I guess it was in 2001. People were a little bit more open about that thing.
Open about people.
Or maybe they weren't. Who knows? But I just thought it was a little interesting.
Yeah,
That,
for sure. I can definitely imagine.
Whatever. That was the reviews of the week.
Yeah, baby.
So now we got our last part of the show here.
The emails. Did you guys know that you can email us?
You can.
The two of us. At the Black Phillip! No, Black Phillip! I'll hold him for the remainder of the show.
Okay.
You can email us. Wait, hold on. Black Phillip will let you know.
You can email us at thestaglerpod@gmail.com. Wouldst thou like to email us a suggestion, a question? Anyway, we got one coming in.
Thank you, Black Phillip.
Thank you, Black Phillip. That was beautiful. Hey, guys. I personally love the Spy Kids movies.
Heck
for how much
yes.
goofy fun they are, despite them being less than masterpieces. Okay. We're gonna
The
delete.
third one is pretty masterpiece material. But
We'll delete this
get
email
around.
right after we finish it. The first movie is actually the start of me recognizing actors like Antonio Banderas and Danny Trejo when I was a kid,
Nice.
which gives me an idea for maybe a future show. The worst movies from otherwise great actors. Now, the actor doesn't have to be bad in it, but the movie is pretty much considered a flop. The first thing that comes to my mind is Raul Julia, I'm not sure, in the Street Fighter movie. Whatever you guys want to do with this idea is fine by me. Thanks. That's
A good idea.
Gomez Adams, I think. I think that's who that is. That is a good idea. However, I think that's like every actor. You just have to that just end up being like a worst movies list because every actor, especially at the beginning of their career, like let's talk about Ryan Gosling. You know,
Right.
The
yes,
Slaughter
he's in
Rule,
The Slaughter Rule,
which
what a
is-
great film.
fantastic film, or Amy Adams. You could say her either.
Right. Yeah, she's
Right.
in the one where the models get murdered.
I thought she was in the Slaughter Rule.
Right. Yes, she is in The Slaughter
Yeah.
Rule for no screen time.
Hey, John, or whatever. You
Yeah,
said.
she says like one line, and she's not whatever.
That is a good thing.
I can't believe I watched that.
Yeah, I don't know why you actually finished it.
The whole movie. I watched the
whole
whole
movie.
movie. Yes.
Maybe she'll come in the last 30 minutes and be the main character. It's funny.
I didn't even see her the first time I
Right.
watched it.
That's
I had
even
to
worse.
I had to watch the movie
That's
again to find
worse.
her.
That's a little bit worse. Anyway, that is a good idea, but I'd have to figure out how to not make that just the worst movies ever because there's so many that are so sucky. Like Brad Pitt was in a weird, like Who Killed Roger Rabbit ripoff called like Cool World, I think.
Nice. You could just pick like a super famous actor that's well loved.
Yeah, you'd have to do like the top of the top, you know, like the elites, like Brad Pitt's Leonardo DiCaprio, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Be like, where did they spawn from?
That'd be
You know?
fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Thank you for the suggestion.
Thank you. And
You can give us more suggestions at thesteglerpod@gmail.com.
or you can just shoot us a question on Twitter if you like that.
Or on
too.
Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us individually, or you can follow.
Fodder.
You can follow
You can follow the Stagler Pod.
Stagler Pod.
Stagler Pod on Twitter.com.
Yes.
You can
We
do that.
do lots of funny tweets. You should see them. They're
Do
cool.
we?
Okay, no, not really a lot, but like at least once a week.
Yeah. Yeah, at least once a week. My personal's not that interesting.
Neither's mine. I actually don't tweet at all on my personal. I just like and retweet stuff.
Right, exactly. I should try a little bit more. Honestly, I find a lot of the news that I put on the show on Twitter, but sometimes I don't want to tweet at it because I'm like, oh, I'm going to talk about it on the show.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
exactly.
it's strange. I'll see if I can get a little bit better at that, at sharing stuff. Anyway,
That we did it. That we're done.
We did it. This is episode 21. Great episode. Next time,
No, yeah.
going to be doing something a little bit different, something we never really delved into yet. There are more people who work on movies
Than just actors and directors.
Come on,
guys.
Movies are sometimes hundreds of people who work on movies, you know?
Hundreds, thousands,
Millions even.
billions,
Trillions of people every year.
quadrillions of people.
Literally sextillions of people.
I mean, you wouldn't believe the septillions that have worked on movies.
Dodecadillions of people into making movie magic,
Yes.
you know? And one of those people, just one
Uno.
of the infinity people that make a movie every second, is Roger Deakins.
You might have heard of him.
You might have heard of him. We mentioned him on the show before. And he is a cinematographer.
He is. Photographer of cinema.
He is behind the camera. He is the man with the cam.
Yep.
Sir Roger Deakins.
Yes.
And we're going to be talking about, not about each movie individually, but about the cinematography of each movie that he has been nominated for
an Academy Award.
For an Academy Award for Best Cinematography.
Which is a lot.
Which starts all the way back in 1994 with The Shawshank Redemption.
Great movie.
To as recent as 2019 with 1917.
Good movie.
And just a little tidbit, just to give you a heads up. Maybe you don't know this. So he's been working since 1994, winning nominations since 1994. He hasn't won since 2017 with Blade Runner.
First win was in 2017 with Blade Runner.
And he won again with 1917. So maybe we'll go back and see
back to back
through those past years and be like, were they right? Or did he deserve to win? And
I'm almost certain he's deserved to win. I'm almost
certain that a lot of these he
some of the other
probably
ones
should have won.
So we'll see, though. It'll be a fun episode.
We'll see. That'll be a little bit different. We won't talk as much about the movie themselves, but more of the just techniques in general.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give a brief synopsis, sure. But don't expect like any major spoilers unless they're directly tied to a certain shot or anything.
1917, we can just talk about the whole movie.
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, that's going to do it for this episode, episode 21. We're so glad to have you here. And
cut!